Ohio gozaimasu, konnichiwa, konbanwa, wherever you're at in the world. Welcome to Last Raps Baseball's live commentary of the Nippon Professional Baseball League. Commentary and views are our opinions and are not affiliated with the NPB, the Pacific League, Central League, or their sponsors. We are giving English reports on the game being played and hope that English-speaking fans can enjoy the games on YouTube along with us. Tonight, we're featuring Game 3 of the series between the Seibu Lions and the Chiba Lotte Marines. This game here is a follow-up to last night, where we did the game and the Marines put 8 runs up on the board against the Lions to knock them off 8-1. It was a one-sided affair pretty much after the late outburst by the Marines. And now it is going to be two right-handers going head-to-head tonight. So we'll begin with the starting lineups. First of all, from the visitors for the Seibu Lions. Leading off and playing in right field wearing number 68 is Junichiro Kishi. Batting second and playing left field wearing number 30 is Brian O'Grady. Batting third and playing shortstop wearing number 6 is Suzuki Genda. In the cleanup spot and playing third base wearing number 60 is Takeya Nakamura. Batting fifth and doing the designated hitting wearing number 1 is Takumi Kuriyama. Batting sixth and playing first base tonight, now wearing number 33, is Jansen Witt. Batting seventh and playing second base wearing number 52 is Haruka Yamada. Batting eighth and doing the catching is Sena Tsuge. And batting ninth and playing center field is number 46, Shohei Suzuki. And they'll be facing a right-hander, Roki Sasaki, the power arm. The young fella in his first start of the year, he went 6 innings, allowing 4 hits, 3 runs, walking out 2, and striking out 10. He did not get a decision in that start. And now the starting lineup for the home team for the Chiba Lotte Marines, leading off and playing left field, wearing number 3 is Akito Takabe. Batting second and playing in center field, wearing number 1 is Kyota Fujiwara. Batting third in a right field, wearing number 79 is Leonis Martin. In the cleanup spot and playing first base wearing number 32 is Toshiya Sato. Batting fifth and doing the designated hitting is wearing number 54 is Brandon Laird. Batting sixth and playing third base wearing number 5 is Hisanori Yasuda. Batting seventh and playing shortstop wearing number 4 is Yudai Fujioka. Batting eighth at second base facing a Taro Watanabe. Season with things pitched, 6 hits, 6 runs, all earned, a walk and 2 Ks. And so now we're ready to get this one underway as Roki Sasaki has completed his warm-up tosses, and Junichiro Kishi steps into the box ready to get things going. And the first pitch of the ball game is a fastball that is swung on and fouled away just behind home plate on the first base side, and the count is quickly 0-1. For Kishi on the season, he is 3 for 5. He's got batting 600 in those 5 at-bats. He's got no homers or RBIs. Last night, he got the start in right field, and he batted 9th. Today, he's at the top of the order. There's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is now 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes to Kishi. Kishi is not that big in stature. He is rather short and stocky. But if he keeps swinging the bat, there will be a place for him. And here's the 0-2 pitch. It's a fastball that misses upstairs. And the count goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. As a note, we were originally going to call the game between the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks and the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles. And of course, yesterday's game was postponed as it was today. And here comes the 1-2 pitch. There's a breaking ball taken for a called third strike. And Kishi is retired for the first out of the inning. And with 1 up, there is 1 away. And Roki Sasaki has opened up his strikeout account with the first batter of the ball game. That's going to bring up the left fielder tonight, Brian O'Grady. O'Grady's off to a fine start here in his NPB career. He's batting .310 with no homers and 3 runs batted in. Sasaki gets himself ready to go. He pitches from the stretch position, even though there's nobody on, and there's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is quickly no balls and 1 strike. On the season, O'Grady is 9 for 29. That gets him to that 310 average. But he's definitely come in and started to produce right away. And there's a fastball swung on. It's lifted foul on the third base side. And the count now is 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes to Sasaki. I would have to say that the Sunday crowd in Chiba is a little more sparse than it was yesterday. We'll see if it is a late arriving crowd. But the attendance is not as good. The weather does not look to be as good as it was in yesterday's game. And here comes the 0-2 pitch. And there is a breaking ball down in the dirt, and down goes O'Grady for strikeout number 2. So 2 up and 2 away, and both retired via the strikeout. And that's going to bring up the shortstop, Suzuki Genda. We got Josh Rother in the house tonight. Welcome. We appreciate you coming back. He is, I believe, our St. Louis native. So Genda steps up to the plate batting 280. He was promoted in the batting order. Last night he was hitting a little bit lower in the order. We've seen Genda hitting as low as 9th this year. He's hitting 280 on the season with no homers and no runs batted in. And he takes the first pitch fastball off the outside corner, and the count is 1-0. Genda, of course, is a slick fielding shortstop for the Lions. Comes the 1-0 pitch. There is a fastball that misses outside, and the count now goes to 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. Josh was in here yesterday, and if he's still in here with us as he dropped by and says hello, he was asking questions about differences in the NPB and the Major League Baseball, and there's a fastball that misses down and away. And is now 3-0 to Genda. And one of the differences that we were talking about yesterday is the pitchers will stand in front of the dugout and play catch before they come out onto the field while the game is going on. The fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is now 3-1. And that is exactly what the right-hander Yataro Watanabe is doing right now in front of the Lions dugout. He's playing catch, getting ready to come into the ball game. There's a fastball swung on. It's grounded to short. That's Fujioka ranging to his right. He throws on the run, and that is going to retire Genda on a ground out, 6-3 to end the inning. So for the Seibu Seibu Lions, they go in order in the first. There were no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We're through a half inning. It is the Lions, nothing the Marines coming to bat. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a moment with the call at the bottom of the first inning. We're glad you could be here with us tonight. Welcome back, everybody. We are cruising to the bottom of the first inning. It is Akito Takabe, Kyoto Fujiwara, and Leonis Martin to get things going for the Marines. It's the top of the batting order to face the right-hander Yataro Watanabe. As we said at the top of the stream, Watanabe had a rough outing his first time as he only went 3 innings, allowing 6 hits, 6 runs, and all earned. So he's looking for a bounce back this evening. Our friend Josh in the chat asks, do they throw in front of the dugouts every inning? I don't know if it's every inning, but certainly when there gets to be where there's 2 outs in the inning, they'll jump up and start throwing, or if the inning starts to extend a little bit, and that's what they'll do. They'll either go offset to the dugout and they'll start playing catch down the, what we would call the warning track in foul territory. And so they're just getting themselves loose, ready to go. It's not like they're throwing a bullpen. They're just out playing catch. But that is usually a staple of the Japanese league. The guys will get up and start throwing on the side before they enter into the ball game. Unlike in Major League Baseball, the pitchers would have to pretty much go down to the bullpen to get throwing, and that's not one of those particular cases that you see here. They just get up and throw right in front of the dugout and have a spotter and so on and so forth. And so here comes the first pitch of the ball game. It's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is 1-0. On the season, Takabe is batting .226. He's got no homers and 2 runs batted in. Watanabe delivers, and it is a fastball that misses down and in well as again, and the count is now 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes to Takabe. Takabe bats from the left side against the right-hander. He squares to bunt, and then he pulls back, and the count is now 3-0. So this was the problem last night for the Seibu Seibu Lions. They ran into some problems where they had a hard time throwing strikes. Their bullpen really let them down late in the ball game. So 3 balls and no strikes to the leadoff hitter Takabe, and here's the pitch. It's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is now 3-1. It was a 5-run 7th inning that blew the game apart yesterday. And there's nothing worse than when you bring relievers in who can't throw strikes. Here's 3-1 pitch, and that is a fastball that misses outside. And that is ball 4, and that's how this ball game begins for Chiba in their half of the first inning with a leadoff walk. It's going to bring up the center fielder, Kyoto Fujiwara. For Fujiwara on the season, he's hitting .222 with no homers and no RBIs. One of the things that we've noted is this is the 9th game of the season for most teams, or it would be the 9th spot in terms of games, a couple of rainouts on the in-between. There hasn't been a lot of home runs this year, at least in the Pacific League. So here comes the first pitch to Fujiwara, but instead, Watanabe throws over to first, and diving back in time is the base runner Takabe. So Fujiwara is the hitter here with nobody out in the runner on first. And here's the pitch. It is a fastball that's taken for a called strike. The count now goes to 0-1. In tonight's lineup, there's only one player in the Marines lineup who has a home run, and that's Brandon Laird, who opened his account last night by depositing his first one into the seats. The Lions tonight have nobody with home runs in their lineup. So home runs are at a premium so far early in the season. And there's a split finger pitch that misses down, and the count is now 1-1 to Fujiwara. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Be curious to know why that is. A few years ago, there was a scandal in the NPB. The commissioner ended up getting fired because they were juicing the baseballs. And he ended up having to resign, and there's another ball thrown over to first. And again, diving back is the base runner the base runner Takabe. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Fujiwara. And here comes the pitch. It is a fastball that misses down and in. And the count is now 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Be curious to see how this is going to work out for the Lions tonight. They really need to get a good start from their right-hander here, at least to put them into position to close it off. So here we go. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. There's a fastball swung on. It's grounded to second. It's fielded neatly by the second baseman over to the shortstop, covering at second for 1, back to first. And I don't know if we're going to be able to get a double play on this one. We're going to have to see. This one may go to review. That's going to go as at least as a fielder's choice, 4-6. It was a nice play by the second baseman, Yamada, who fired it over again to covering. And as we get the replay of it, the 4-6 portion was pretty good, but you got to tip your hat to Fujiwara really getting down the line. His wheels helped beat that one out. So he is aboard of the fielder's choice, but 4-6 is how Takabe is erased for the first out. And that's going to bring up Leonis Martin. So Josh asks, what were they doing to juice the balls? It's a good question. And the first pitch to Martin is a breaking ball that misses upstairs, and the count is 1-0. I can't comment on what the NPB was doing to juice the balls. Sometimes the balls can be a little bit lighter in terms of their weight. Normally a baseball is between 5 and 5.5 ounces. Sometimes they play with the weights a little bit, depending upon how the ball is, what I would call, not corked, but how it is strung. The type of stuff they're using in the center of the ball can sometimes dictate that a little bit. There's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is 2-0. And off to second goes the Runner Fujiwara, there's the throw down to second base, and it is not going to be in time. We're going to see if that's going to go down as a stolen base. The ball was in the dirt, but it was a good piece of base running, a good read by the base runner. Fujiwara has now got himself into scoring position. So good block by the catcher. He kept it in front. The throw down to second was not very good as it was up in the air. And even if it was in time, I'm not sure they would have had Fujiwara. So that will go down as a stolen base. So Fujiwara is at second. It's now 2-0 to Leonis Martin. And here's the 2-0 pitch. It's a split finger pitch down in the dirt. And the count now runs to 3-0. So Martin here with the 3-0 count. He's off to a very slow start this year. He's batting 130 with no homers and 1 RBI. So the right-hander gets the sign from his catcher. He's ready to go back to work. He checks the runner, and instead they throw back to second base, and Suzuki Genda has to make the grab as that ball was destined for center field. It was ranging him to the right-hand side of second base. So nice play there by Genda, but right now the pitcher for the Lions is really struggling with his location delivering to the plate and just being able to play catch. So here comes the 3-0 pitch to Martin. He kicks and delivers, does Watanabe. It's a fastball swung on and fouled away over on the third base side. And the count is now 3-1. It was a big hack there by Martin at 3-0. There's not too many hitters that get that green light. So 3 balls and 1 strike. So here we go back to work. He kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that misses upstairs, and that is going to be ball 4. As Leonis Martin is aboard with a walk. And that's going to bring up the first baseman, Toshiya Sato. For Sato on the season, he's batting .304. He's got no homers to go with 3 runs batted in. He is 7 for 23 so far on the season. He's found himself sandwiched between the 2 imports. He bats from the left side with runners at first and second and 1 away. The Marines are threatening here in the first inning. This will be the 15th pitch of the inning for the right-hander Watanabe, and he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball taken for a called strike. And the count is 0-1. For Sato in last night's ball game, he was hitting a little bit lower in the lineup. He was hitting in the 5 spot. He had himself a very nice game. He had a couple of base hits, a sacrifice fly, and an RBI. He was actually 2 for 4 on the night. There's a fastball that's taken for a called strike. And the count now goes to 0-2. So no balls, 2 strikes to Sato. Ruben Hogan stops in, and we appreciate you being here. There's your score for you, running across the bottom of the screen. Thanks for coming by. It's 0-0 here. We're actually in the bottom of the first inning, and there's a fastball swung on. It is lifted into shallow left field. Moving back on it is O'Grady. He makes the catch. Tagging at second is the base runner Fujiwara, but he's got nowhere to go. And that is going to retire Sato for the second out of the inning. That's going to leave it all up to the designated hitter, Brandon Laird. So Laird's coming up to the dish. He's batting .259 on the season with a homer and 5 RBIs. He's starting to get hot. Last night he hit that 2-run homer early in the ball game to put the Marines out in front, and they could probably use another blast like that here to get them rolling. You don't want to get this guy hot. Laird has spent time with the Marines over the last few seasons. Prior to coming to Chiba, he had spent time with the Hokkaido nippon-ham fighters. He made the move over to the Marines a few seasons ago, and there's a first pitch fastball that misses upstairs, and the count is 1-0. Laird last night hit that breaking ball off of Samita. It wasn't quite a wall scraper, but He definitely does his sushi boy routine and was sharing a little bit with his teammates last night when he came back to the dugout. So here's the 1-0 pitch, and there's a fastball swung on it. Is popped up into shallow left field. O'Grady moving underneath it, and he's going to make the catch. And that is going to retire Laird for the third out of the inning. So the Chiba Lotte Marines threatened, but they don't score. They had no runs in the inning. There were no hits. There were no errors, but 2 runners left the board. We're now through 1 complete. It is the site of a Seibu Lions nothing, the Chiba Lotte Marines nothing. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple minutes with the call of the top of the second inning. We're glad you could be here with us. Welcome back, everybody. We are cruising to the top of the second inning. Ruben Hogan says, give my boy Brian, known as Big Money, a shutout, as opposed to G Money, which was Gerald Laird's older brother, or the Brandon Laird's older brother back in the day. But I'm sure there's a good notation for that. We appreciate you guys being in here and checking this out. We got the heart of the Seibu batting order coming up here, 4, 5, and 6. It's going to be Takiya Nakamura, Takumi Kuriyama, and Jansen Witt to face the right-hander Roki Sasaki, who got things going pretty quickly in the first inning by retiring the first 2 batters via the strikeout. Sasaki is looking to continue that trend tonight as he fanned 10 in 6 innings, his first outing of the year. So Nakamura steps up to the plate. He's hitting a .154, no homers, and 2 RBIs. So here we go, ready to go to work. And the first pitch delivered from Sasaki is a fastball that swung on and lifted foul over on the first base side of home plate. The catcher, Matsukawa, goes back to the screen, but he's not going to be able to get it. So no balls and 1 strike to Nakamura. Nakamura did not see action in last night's ball game. He's off to a bit of slow start. He's a veteran player in this Seibu lineup, and there's a fastball taken for a called strike. And the count is 0-2. One thing that's really neat about Roki Sasaki is just his leg kick, how high he gets the leg up. Really has this massive kick. And there's a fastball swung on and missed, and that last pitch was at 101 miles an hour. He absolutely blew it by Nakamura, who could not catch up on the fastball. And he is retired for out number 1 here in the second inning. That's the thing about Sasaki. He can really dial up the heat. Saw him pitch a little bit last year, and he is very, 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 very electric. If I had to say who I prefer between him and Yoshinobu Yamamoto, I still have the edge to Yamamoto. He is a very exciting player in which to watch. So that brings up Takumi Kuriyama. Kuriyama is getting the start as the designated hitter again tonight. And the first pitch is a fastball swung on and fouled away. The count is 0-1. For Kuriyama on the season, he's hitting 190 with no homers and 5 RBIs. He bats from the left side against the right-hander Sasaki, and we're ready to go back to work. He holds at the chest level. He kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on and fouled away over on the third base side, and the count is now 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. Waiting his turn on deck is the import, Jansen Witt. It was our first time last night getting a chance to see Witt. Here comes the 0-2 pitch, and there is a fastball that just misses off the outside corner, and that one registered at 101. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Kuriyama. Sasaki can really bring up the heat, that's for sure. So here we go back to the action. 1 ball and 2 strikes, and Sasaki kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that misses down, and it hits the batter in the foot, and that is is Kuriyama. He is in some serious pain. The pitcher Sasaki is waving to him, and so the trainer is out, and the batter is currently walking around the on deck circle. And this is something else. If our friend Josh is in here, sometimes guys will get hit by a pitch or they'll get dotted. Next thing they know, they go into the trainer's room and the game is delayed. And so Sasaki is going to wait until he comes back, but Kuriyama has been hit by the pitch, and we're just going to wait here for a moment while he is tended to. I guess unlike in soccer where they put the magic spray on you straight away, I don't know what they do when they take him down the tunnel. So we do have a bit of a delay here now with the hit batter, and that's going to bring up Jansen Witt. I started to tell a story a little bit last night about Yoshi Satsugo when they were in the playoffs when he was playing for the Tampa Bay Rays a couple of years ago. And the question was why didn't he get to see action against the Dodgers, or a lot of action? He only had 2 at-bats in the World Series. And one of the reasons was they were using some of the analytics, and with Satsugo, he really struggled hitting pitchers who were throwing 95 miles an hour or greater. And so Satsugo wasn't getting the action in the World Series. And that was one of the ways in which they were using analytics, making the decision of who to put in and who not to put in. And of course, here tonight, we've got a fastball pitcher in Roki Sasaki on the mound. It was bringing it up at 100 miles an hour. There's going to be some players that are going to have difficulties catching up to the young right-hander. So the designated hitter Kuriyama is out of the trainer's table, or off the trainer's table, and he is running for himself at first base. That's going to bring up Jansen Witt. Witt on the young season is 1 for 7 at the plate. He's batting 143. He had a couple of good swings in last night's ball game. He drilled one ball the first time up all the way to the right field fence, but it was just a registered long out. And the first pitch he sees is a fastball fouled away. On the first base side, the count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike to Witt. We're glad you could make it in here with us tonight. We'll be announcing our schedule through the week. We'll look to do some of the late night games this week, and there's a fastball that misses outside. And the count is 1-1. Obviously, we're keeping our eye on the stuff that's going on with the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles. As we mentioned in yesterday's stream, they had 7 players and a coach test positive for the virus. So here's the 1-1 pitch, and it's a breaking ball that's taken for a called strike. And the count is 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Witt. Sasaki ready to go back to work. He's not a big fella. Sometimes you see guys, and what I mean by big, he's not particularly thick. He's rather slender from the waist up, and there is a fastball swung on it. It is popped up into right field. Camping out underneath it is Leonis Martin. He's going to make the catch, and that is going to retire Witt for the second out of the inning, and that's going to leave it all up to Haruka Yamada. For Yamada on the season, he is 1 for 1, and he got his first base hit of the year last night. He also drove in the only run for the Lions. He's getting the start tonight at second base. You can see already he's quite the character. He's got all kinds of little moves and little quirks that he has getting into the batter's box. So Ruben says him and his boy Brian have got the under on this game, and there's a fastball that swung on and fouled away, and that is going to make the count 0-1. Well, if I had to say, I think that, Ruben, you probably would be in good shape with Sasaki pitching to keep the score down. I'm not sure if Watanabe is going to do here tonight. And what we've seen in the first inning, he really struggled to throw strikes, and that would be a concern. So here is the pitch from Sasaki. It's a fastball that just misses off the outside corner, and the count goes to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. I'm not sure if that pitch was low or outside. It looked like it was right at the knees, but may have been off the plate a little bit. Our angle is a little different here. We're offset to the pitcher. There's the pitch. It is a breaking ball, swung on and missed, and the count is now 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Yamada. Suzuki's looking to finish this one off. And here's the pitch. It is a split finger pitch, swung on and missed. And that is going to retire Yamada for the 3rd out of the inning via the strikeout. So that's the 4th strikeout for Suzuki already tonight. So for the Lions in their half of the 2nd inning, they had no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. They are now through 1.5. It is the Seibu Lions, nothing. The Chiba Lotte Marines, nothing. Stick around, everybody. We'll answer Josh's question when we come back in just a moment. We're glad you could be here with us tonight. Here's our friend Matt.
Well, you've got to have an ace in the hole, a little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play, but you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just one roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole.
Welcome back, everybody. We are moving to the bottom half of the 2nd inning. It is going to be coming up for Chiba, Hisanori Yasuda, Yudai Fujioka, and Taiga Hirasawa to face the right-hander Yutaro Watanabe. So our friend Josh asked the question, are there any popular glove brands in Japan you don't see in the MLB? That's a pretty interesting question. One thing that I was not aware of until I went to Japan, is that I didn't realize that ASICS was such a big baseball manufacturer, or at least they produce a lot of product. And so, of course, their gloves in particular were something that was of interest to me, and certainly their product line with regards to baseball. So here we go. Here comes the batter, Yasuda, who steps up to the plate. He takes a first pitch fastball up for a ball, and the count is 1-0. Yasuda is batting .286 on the season with no homers and 1 run batted in. And here's the pitch. It is a fastball that misses down and away, and the count is now 2-0. Now, there are some other gloves that are out there, and when I had the opportunity to go to the Jinju Stadium nearby, there was a place that actually was selling and doing repairs of gloves and baseball equipment, and there was a fastball swung on and fouled away. It's going to reach the seats behind the third base dugout, and the count goes to 2-1. But you do see some different brands and some different type of stuff, and some stuff I'm not familiar with. So I'd like to answer that question a little bit more in depth, but probably ASICS would be the one that stood out for me. There's a fastball swung on, and that is fouled away, and the count goes to 2-2. There was a fellow when I was in the Mizuno store in Osaka that I met when I was over in Japan. And anyways, he was one of the workers. He'd come out because he'd seen me looking at some things, and there's a breaking ball that misses upstairs. Count goes to 3-2. And he had actually spent time in the Can-Am League and in the American Association, the independent ball here in North America. He'd given me his card, and not his baseball card, but his business card. There's a fastball that misses inside, and that's going to be a leadoff walk here for Yasuda. So the 2nd inning begins similar to the 1st inning, as they have a base on ball. Ruben Hogan says, my boy Brian listening to the game, and he's thinking about his girl named Kasha. There you go. Well, keep thinking. And here we go, fellas. Here comes the batter, Yudai Fujioka. Fujioka is 2 for 16 on the season. He's off to a slow start. So as he steps up to the plate, he's already getting ready to bunt. Make no bones about it. So we asked the other night where some people are listening from. I know that Josh checked in. I believe he said he was from the St. Louis, Missouri area. I think that Troy, who was in the stream last night, he's in Michigan. He's north of Detroit. I forget who else, where everybody's at, but if you know where you're at, let us know in the stream. We're always interested. And there is a bunt that's dropped down. It's fielded by Watanabe. He throws to first. And Yudai Fujio gets the job done. It's a sacrifice bunt. That's going to go down as 1-4. And it is going to be advancing Yasuda to second base. That's the first out of the inning, and that's going to bring up Taiga Hirasawa. We got Buster Bayhuisen, or Husen. He says he's listening from the Bay Area in California. We appreciate that. I've not made my way down to the Bay Area yet. That is on my radar. So here comes the second baseman, Taiga Hirasawa, to the plate. Hirasawa does not have a batting average. He is 0 for 8 on the season. He takes a first pitch breaking ball over for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Josh says, St. Louis, go Cardinals. As we know that's where he is calling it home these days. So here's the 0-1 pitch. And there's a pitch. It is a fastball swung on, and it's grounded to the right side, and it's going to get past the diving second baseman into right field. So Yamada laid out. He couldn't make the play, and now they got the runner hung up between first and second, and they are going to put out Hirasawa as he gets hung up between first and second, but he does the job. He knocks in Yasuda for the first run of the inning on a base hit single to right. He threw the ball in. It got cut off, and he got hung up in the rundown. I have to say, the Lions almost butchered the rundown, and part of that had to do with the second baseman, Yamada, taking himself way out of the play because he had the range into shallow right field. And then once he got back up, the throw to the plate was eventually cut off by the first baseman. And we're not going to be able to get all of that information down, but it looked like it was going to go as a 9-3-6 and a bunch of other things on a putout. There's a fastball delivered to Ko Matsukawa, take it for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. So you kind of get the idea. There were a lot of people involved. So here comes the 0-1 pitch. And there's a fastball to Matsukawa, swung on and fouled away. Count goes to 0-2. Josh asks the question, what does the rest of the world think of the Cardinals getting Albert Pujols again? Well, I can't speak for the rest of the world, but I would say my thoughts on the Pujols edition. It's nice to see that he's getting a swung in St. Louis, and there's a breaking ball swung on. It's grounded to second, and the second baseman, Yamada, decides that he wants to try to play soccer on a baseball field, and there's no success when you kick balls around. He has made the error. That's going to go down as an E4, and Matsukawa is aboard with a 2-out. He's aboard with 2 outs, and that's going to bring the top of the order, Akito Takabe, to the plate. That play was an easy play that the second baseman, Yamada, turned into an adventure. You've got to make routine plays routinely, and that certainly wasn't it. And you have to tip your hat as Yamada is getting his first start of the season tonight. As we said last night, he's got a bit of a quirkiness to him. Here's the first pitch. It is a fastball that misses down and away, and the count is 1-0. It almost reminds me a little bit of Munenori Kawasaki, who was in the big leagues for a little bit. Just his demeanor on the field. He's usually got a smile going, but he's not smiling right now. So here comes the 1-0 pitch, and it is a fastball swung on. It's grounded to second. Yamada gets the chance. It always seems that the ball will find you when you make the mistake, but this time he makes the play. It goes down as a ground out, 4-3 for the third out of the inning, and that is going to do it for Chiba in their half of the second. But they break the scoring open. The Marines had a run in the inning. There was 1 hit. There was an error, and there was 1 runner left on base. We are now through 2 complete innings. It is the Chiba Lotte Marines 1, the Saitama Seibu Lions 0. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a moment with the call of the top of the 3rd inning. We're glad you could be here tonight. Welcome back, everybody. We're moving to the top half of the third inning. It is now a 1-0 ball game for the Chiba Lotte Marines. They have taken the lead on a single in the bottom of the second inning by Taiga Hirasawa. And of course, he got himself caught in the rundown, and that had enabled the runner from third to be able to score as they cut it off. And so we were getting that scoring for you, and it was the old 9-3-6. It looked like it was a whole bunch of other things on that one as well. So unfortunately, we're not going to get you that full scoring play for you if you're doing that stuff at home. But we'll be ready to resume the action here in just a moment. It is 1-0 here. And we'll be adjusting our score line for you as well across the bottom. We'll see the ticker as it's running. The visiting team, the Lions, are coming up to bat in their half of the inning. And this is going to be Senetsuge. He gets the nod as the catcher tonight. He is 0 for 1 on the season. He takes a first pitch fastball that misses inside, and the count is 1-0. Sasaki tonight has got 4 strikeouts in these 2 innings of work. He really brings the heat. And there is a fastball that is swung on and missed, and the count goes even to 1-1. That last pitch was at 157 kilometers an hour. When you translate that, you're looking at that as a 98-mile-an-hour fastball. And then he follows it up with a 156-kilometer-an-hour changeup. So a good, solid, almost 10 miles or 146-mile-an-hour changeup. Good difference in speed. So here comes the 1-2 pitch. That's a fastball swung on and missed. And Suge is gone for out number 1 here in the third inning. So 1 up and 1 away, and that brings up the center fielder, Shohei Suzuki. So back to Josh's question, what does the rest of the world think of the Cardinals getting Albert Pujols again? As I said, I think that Pujols going back is kind of a nice feel-good story. You get to walk out of his career here with Yadi Molina and probably Adam Wainwright at the end of this season. As a fastball swung on and fouled away. The count is 0-1. Of course, Albert Pujols was a very popular player in the St. Louis organization and got a chance to take the money and go to Los Angeles. At the time, there were some people in St. Louis that weren't happy. There's a fastball that misses outside, and the count is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Yeah, they weren't very happy with him making his way out. But in saying that, when you look at the contract that he got, and you look at what the Angels had to eat at the end of his career, it probably wasn't the worst thing. And there is a split finger pitch swung on and missed. The count is 1-2. Josh said he could also reach 700 dingers this year as well. That is also something to keep in mind for sure. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. And here's the pitch from Sasaki. It is a split finger pitch. It's down in the dirt. They say he foul tipped it. And the count is going to remain at 1-2. Yeah, Josh says they dodged a huge bullet by not signing Pujols. I think you're absolutely right. To give that length of contract where he was in age, not a great thing. I think the Tampa Bay Rays came out smelling like a rose when they offered that contract to Wander Franco and he took it. I don't know who Wander Franco's agent is, but I think he should be fired. There's a fastball that misses off the outside corner, and the count now goes to 2-2 to Suzuki. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. And Sasaki kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on and missed. That is strikeout number 6 here for the young right-hander, and we're only 2 outs into the third inning. It's going to bring up the top of the order, Junichiro Kishi. For Kishi tonight, he is 0 for 1. He too went down via the strikeout his first time up. And he went down looking. It was the only one looking so far tonight. Kishi on the season is 3 for 6. There's a fastball swung on. It is lifted into right center field. Moving over to his right and making the catch is Leonis Martin, and that is going to do it for the Lions in their half of the third inning. So for the Seibu Seibu Lions, they had no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We're through 2.5 innings. It is the Chiba Lotte Marines 1, the Seibu Seibu Lions nothing. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a moment with the call of the bottom of the third inning. We're glad you could be here with us. Welcome back, everybody. We're going to be just back in a couple moments as we move to the bottom of the third inning. It is 1-0 for the Marines. Hang tight. We'll be back in just a moment. Welcome back, everybody. The first pitch delivered to Kyoto Fujiwara was a fastball that missed upstairs, and the count was 1-0. And then another fastball outside makes it 2-0. So we're a couple of pitches behind. Buster Beheisen, I hope I say that correctly. He says, do Japanese players also have a collegiate system? And there's the 2-0 pitch. It's a fastball that misses inside, and the count is 3-0. Or are they drafted out of high school? Also, how do the scenes compare high school baseball in the U.S. versus Japan? So I'll answer those questions in pieces here as best as I can. There's a fastball that misses down to Fujiwara, and he is aboard with a leadoff walk here in the third inning. It is the third consecutive inning that the pitcher, Watanabe, has issued a free pass to the Marines batters. He says it's just a backup name. That's all good. So the first question is, do the Japanese players have a college system? And the answer to that is yes. And I have to say, I'm not an expert on it. And somebody else may chime in. I believe they like to reference there's about 8 teams that are supposed to be very good. And they reference them as the Big 8. And there's a fastball delivered to Leonis Martin, and it is fouled away. And the count is 0-1. So a couple of years ago, or was it last year, the University of British Columbia, who play in the NAIA, hosted a tournament, a 4-team tournament, round robin, and they invited Sacramento State University. So Sac State came up to play in Vancouver. There was University of British Columbia, who, as I say, they play in the NAIA. They've been perennial ranked program, or were a perennial ranked program. There's a fastball that misses upstairs to Martin. And then there was 2 universities from Japan that came. There was Teio University, and I believe it was University of Tokyo, but I can't remember the other one. I'd have to go look it up. You could find that information on the Sac State website. And it was basically in late August that took place. And so it was a couple of years ago. And ultimately, it was well received because there's a large Japanese population in the area. And there's ball thrown over to first base, and diving back in time is Fujiwara. So the quality of the baseball, pretty good, but they carry these massive rosters. So when you think of rosters in North America, or at least the United States, and the college roster, and there's a breaking ball, take it for a called strike, and the count is 1-2, they could have somewhere upwards of 100 players on their college roster at one time. So you can imagine what it would be like getting batting practice, or being able to be efficient to be able to play. So that's the first thing. So they do have a system. Some players are drafted out of college, just as summer drafted out of high school. And there is a split finger pitch delivered to Martin. He swings and misses, and he is retired for the first out of the inning via the strikeout. That is the first strikeout of the ball game for Watanabe. And that's going to bring up the first baseman, Toshiya Sato. And then the question is, how do the scenes compare high school baseball versus in the U.S. versus Japan? Well, the Koshin tournament, that is the big tournament, or the run at the Koshin Stadium, the Hanshin Tigers in Osaka vacate their stadium for 3 weeks every year. It's a massive tournament, their high school tournament. And if you get a chance, if you're ever over in Japan, I had an opportunity to get to the Baseball Hall of Fame. They have a whole section dedicated just to the high school tournament. It is absolutely massive. And if you ever go and take a look at that, that's a pretty cool thing that they have. And again, throwing over to first base is the base runner. So I know high school baseball in many states is strong and people play the game and they are involved in baseball, but the tournament for the held at the Koshin Stadium is absolutely well attended, and it's pretty crazy. There's a fastball that misses upstairs to Sato for ball one. Count is 1-0. So if you ever go and look online and you want to get some highlights, they've got the bands playing, they got the cheering, everything is very, very popular, and a lot of Japanese legends are born there. And there's a fastball that misses outside. Off to the races goes the runner Fujiwara. Here's the throw down to second. It's not in time, and Fujiwara has got his second stolen base of the ball game. So Fujiwara is now in scoring position with one out. And there he is there. That throw was not a very good throw. It was thrown to the shortstop side of second base. Genda tried to backhand it and then apply the tag, and he wasn't able to do that. So the popularity of high school baseball, just in Japan in general, is exceedingly popular. It's kind of neat. One of the pitchers, there's a breaking ball that misses down to Sato, and the count now runs to 3-0. So Kosei Yoshida, who pitches for the Hokkaido nippon-ham fighters, he was an absolute legend. If you get a chance to check out our community page, we did a little post on him a few days ago because we called the game that he pitched in. There's a fastball that misses down and away to Sato, and he draws himself a walk. That's going to put runners at first and second, and it's going to bring the pitching coach out of the Lions dugout. That is the fifth free pass issued today by the right-hander Watanabe. And if anything, they haven't made him pay yet because they've only got one base hit in the ball game. But he is definitely living dangerously. So Watanabe here, looks like he's got some nice stuff where the ball has a lot of late life on it, a lot of arm side run, some depth. But he certainly doesn't have the command of his pitches right now, and that is seen right here as there's runners on first and second with one away. That's going to bring up the designated hitter, Brandon Laird. Laird on the season is now batting .250. He's 7 for 28. He's sitting right now on 199 career home runs in the Japanese league, so the next one that leaves the park will be 200 for him. So here comes Watanabe, checks the runner at second. He kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that misses down, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. So the Kosei Yoshida threw something like 881 pitches over 2 weeks in that high school tournament, pitching for his high school team. So literally going every other game, getting a start every other game or every other day. There's a fastball ticket for a called strike by Brandon Laird, and the count is 1-1. So the question came up, he's throwing 160, 170 pitches in a 9-inning complete game for his high school team. And they were asking questions, at what point does that border on abuse? But that pitching performance that he had, he turned into the number 1 overall pick in the NPB draft in 2018. There's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count is now 2-1. So that would be Kosei Yoshida As I say, if you have an interest, go back. It was on a few days ago, or possibly even last week, that we posted up on our community page. So 2 balls and 1 strike to Laird, and Watanabe steps off the back of the rubber, and he's reaching for the rosin bag. We're going to do this all over again. We're here in the bottom of the 3rd inning with 2 on and 1 away. Laird is a double play candidate, but he's also a candidate to put 125 rows into the seats. So here's the 2-1 pitch. Watanabe delivers. It's a fastball swung on and missed. And the count now goes to 2-2. So Buster says, yeah, that is legendary, but there's also a couple of other players who've made their names in that as well. The great Sadahara O, when he was a high schooler, also had some legendary numbers. He not only did he hit, but of course he was a pitcher in high school, and he put up some big-time numbers. The other one that comes to mind is Daisuke Matsuzaka, and there's a fastball swung on. It's popped up into shallow center field. Moving underneath it is Suzuki. He makes the catch. Tagging at second is Fujiwara, but he's not going to advance as the ball was too shallow. And Laird is retired for the 2nd out of the inning. And that is going to leave it up to the 3rd baseman, Hisanori Yasuda. Yasuda has scored the only run of the ballgame tonight. He walked in the 2nd inning and came around on the RBI single by Taiga Hirasawa. So it's 1-0 for the Marines still here in the 3rd. There are 2 aboard with 2 out. So Yasuda steps up to the plate. And here's the pitch. It's a fastball that misses up and away, and the count is 1-0. He's batting .286 on the season with no homers and an RBI. Josh asks the question, what's your favorite NPB team and why? And here's the pitch. It's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is 1-1. To be honest with you, Josh, I don't know if I really have a favorite team. I mean, I've kind of got some eclectic stuff that's here. I've got a Hiroshima Carp pencil case. I've got a Fukuoka SoftBank hot calendar. I got a Hanshin Tiger hat. I've got some different, paraphernalia from different teams. Also had a Yamuri Giant towel at one point. It's kicking around here somewhere. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away by Yasuda, and the count goes to 1-2. There's nobody really, not like in the MLB where I make no bones about it. I'm a Detroit Tiger fan as a kid growing up and still like watching the Tigers play. So here comes the 1-2 pitch. There is a fastball swung on it. It's going to lift it into the seats on the 3rd base side. The count remains at 1-2. So probably more than anything, enjoy the individual players and watching the players for a variety of reasons, not for one particular one, not like that somebody hits a lot of homers or drives it in. I like the fundamental skills, guys who can bunt, guys who are able to do a little bit of everything. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Yasuda. Watanabe checks the runner at second. He kicks and deals. There's a fastball swung on. This is lifted into left center field. Moving over to his right is Suzuki. He's going to make the catch, and that is going to do it here in the 3rd inning for the Marines. So the Marines, again, threaten but don't score. They had no runs in the inning. There were no hits, no errors, and 2 runners left aboard. We are now through 3 complete innings. It is the Chiba Lotte Marines 1, Saitama Seibu Lions 0. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back for the call at the top of the 4th inning. We should have a Roki Sasaki strikeout meter. So I wonder how many he's going to get tonight. Stay tuned, everybody. We'll be back after these tunes. Welcome back, everybody. We are moving to the top of the fourth inning, and it is going to be the 2, 3, 4 hitters in the batting order coming up for the Lions. That means Brian O'Grady, Suzuki Genda, and Takia Nakamura to get things going against the hard-throwing right-hander. Sasaki has 6 strikeouts through the first 4 innings of this one, and the hype has not disappointed. We'll give you some scores around the NPB a little bit later. There are 3 games currently underway. This is the later of the starts. And here's the first pitch. It's a fastball that misses outside to O'Grady, and the count is 1-0. 2 games have been postponed today, Fukuoka and Tohoku. And of course, not because of the virus, the Dana Bay Stars and Swallows have also been postponed. And here's the pitch. It's a fastball swung on and missed, and the count is 1-1. 1 ball and 1 strike to O'Grady. If I had any type of complaint about Sasaki, and I don't have many so far from what I've seen, he's a little bit herky-jerky in his motion. I was kind of wondering maybe if they'll smooth him out just a little bit. There's a fastball delivered at the knees for a called strike, and the count is 1-2. And sometimes when guys are a bit herky-jerky, it's where they could get a little bit of shoulder issues. There's some timing issues. He's not bad, but he could just be smoothed a little more. And there's a breaking ball delivered to O'Grady. He takes it for a called third strike. And that is number 7 in the books here for Sasaki. So 1 up and 1 away in the 4th inning, and he is cruising now. That brings up Suzuki Genda. Genda tonight is one of the few Lions players to put the ball in play. He grounded out to the shortstop his first time up. He's 0 for 1. So Sasaki ready to deliver, and he kicks. It's a fastball that misses up and away, and the count is 1-0. With regards to Sasaki's pitching, I'd like to see him with a little bit more downward tilt. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count is now 1 ball and 1 strike. And what I mean by that is that his fastball seems to stay up in the zone. I want to see if it would be able to have some downward taper or downward plane to the pitch. Now, that last pitch was a fastball taken for a called strike at the knees, and that would be what I'd be looking for. 1 ball and 2 strikes. If he could live there all day, he's going to be very difficult to hit. So here comes the 1-2 pitch to Genda. It's a fastball swung on and fouled away. And the count remains at 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Sasaki gets the sign from his catcher, Matsukawa. He's ready to go back to work. He kicks and delivers, and it is a split finger pitch that is a check swing by Genda, and he went too far, and he is going to be retired on strikes for the 2nd out of the inning, so that's number 8 in the books. So 2 up and 2 away, and that's going to bring up the 3rd baseman, Takia Nakamura. Next time I do a game with Sasaki, I'm going to have to bring out the K cards because he definitely puts the K in Sasaki. So Nakamura steps up to the plate. He's 0 for 1 tonight, and he also has struck out. He is struggling to get this season going, and here comes the pitch. It's a breaking ball from Sasaki. Drops in for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. So just as Sasaki's having the success, the offense hasn't really got it going yet for the Marines. And there's a fastball down in the dirt, and the count is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Sasaki leans in. He gets the sign from his catcher, Matsukawa. He's ready to go back to work. He kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on. It's lifted into right field. Camping out underneath it is Martin. He's going to make the catch. And that is going to do it here for the Lions in their half of the 4th inning. They go quietly. There were no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We're now through 3.5. It is the Chiba Lotte Marines 1, the Saitama Seibu Lions, nothing. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a moment with the call of the bottom of the fourth inning. We're glad you could be here. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. We are moving to the bottom half of the fourth inning. It is going to be the 7, 8, and 9 hitters for Chiba coming to bat. That means Yudai Fujioka, Taiga Hirasawa, and Ko Matsukawa are coming to bat for the Marines in their half of the fourth inning. It has been a masterful pitching performance so far by the right-hander Roki Sasaki. He has yet to allow a hit in the ball game, and he's got 8 strikeouts through 4 innings. The only batter to reach base has been Takumi Kuriyama, who was hit by a pitch in the second inning. So Sasaki is cruising along here, and it is his counterpart, Yataro Watanabe, who is on the hill for the Lions, who has not quite had the same success yet. He's definitely battled tonight. He's run himself into some challenges. Here's the first pitch to Yudai Fujioka, and it's a fastball that misses outside, and the count is 1-0. For Fujioka, he doesn't have an official at bat tonight. He had a nice sacrifice bunt his last time up. There's a fastball swung on. It's grounded over to first. It's easily handled by Jansen Witt. He races over to the base and steps on it for out number 1, and that is 1 up and 1 away here in the fourth inning. It's going to bring up the second baseman, Taiga Hirasawa. Hirasawa has driven in the only run in the ballgame tonight. He had a single his first time up, and he was eventually thrown out in a rundown between first and second. Hirasawa picked up his second RBI of the season, and that went with his first hit. That was his first hit of the year, and there's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count is 0-1. As we mentioned at the outset of this one, there is only 1 home run in the lineup tonight, 1 player with a home run, and that is Brandon Laird for Chiba. Had a home run last night. There's a breaking ball that misses outside. The count's 1-1. But the Lions have nobody in their lineup with a home run tonight, so there's a power outage in Japanese baseball, at least in the Pacific League, and there is a breaking ball that misses outside, and the count is now 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Back to work goes Watanabe, and he delivers a fastball that catches the inside corner. And the count goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Watanabe leans in and gets the sign from his catcher Tsuge, and it is a fastball that misses inside, and the batter Hirasawa has to skip rope to get out of the way. And that's going to run the count full to 3-2. Looking forward to the start of the Major League season for sure. They're winding down spring training. Everything gets going on Friday. We saw today that a few of the rookies are going to be making the big league rosters. There's a fastball that's down in the dirt, and that is ball 4. So for the 4th consecutive inning, the pitcher Yataro Watanabe has walked the leadoff. Well, sorry, that's not true. He's walked the leadoff hitter in 3 of the 4 innings. That is now his 6th walk of the ball game. He's definitely struggling to throw strikes here. Some of the players in the MLB that come to mind that have made or have been announced that they made big league rosters. The Detroit Tigers mentioned or noted today that Spencer Torkelson will break camp with the big club. Of course, he was the number 1 overall pick. But the player I'm excited to see is Bobby Witt Jr. who is breaking camp with the Kansas City Royals. There's talk about that he will be the third baseman. And Adalberto Mondesi will be the shortstop, and Nicky Lopez is going to play second. So here we go back to the live action as Ko Matsukawa is at the plate, and there's a fastball that gets all the way to the backstop. And back to retrieve it is the catcher Suge, and that's going to definitely go down as a wild pitch. And of course, that is ball one. The hitter, Matsukawa, had to duck out of the way as it was coming up and in. The catcher had to leap up. He couldn't make the catch. I don't know if he would have been able to make that catch using a step ladder. Josh says he thinks it's amazing that the Lions pitcher's only given up one run. He's an absolute escape artist. There used to be a pitcher for the Detroit Tigers years ago named Brian Moeller. He was extremely difficult to watch pitch. He would always get the first two outs in the inning, and then he would seem like he'd load the bases and finally get the last guy out. And it was just chronic how he would do that all the time. Could never have a clean inning. There's a fastball that misses inside to Matsukawa, and the count is now 2-0. When you think about it, in Major League Baseball, if a starting pitcher walks much more than 4 or 5 batters, even if he walks 4 batters early on in a game like this, he's not around very long. As the fastball swung on it is lifted over on the right side. Coming in underneath it is the right fielder, Kishi. He's going to make the catch, and that is going to retire Matsukawa for the second out of the inning. That's going to bring up the top of the order, and that will be Akito Takabe. Josh says they can't tell if the pitcher is using too much rosin or not enough. That's something else that's unique in the NPB. When you watch some of the pitchers, not so much in this game, but there are some pitchers for Fukuoka and for Hokkaido. They load up the ball or load up their hand with so much rosin. It almost looks like a puff of smoke coming out of their hand when they deliver. And so here comes the pitch to Takabe. It's a breaking ball that misses down and away. And the count is 1-0. And make no mistake about it, they are using a lot of rosin. So here comes the 1-0 pitch. Watanabe delivers. It's a fastball that misses down and away, and the count is now 2-0. That is the 68th pitch of the ball game delivered by Watanabe. If I went back and took a look at the amount of balls that he's thrown to strikes, I'd be shocked if he was at 50%. I can maybe do the quick count on that in between innings and report back to everybody. And there's a fastball that misses down, and the count is 3-0. Or what I can do for everybody, if you're interested, there is a English stat site, and I will put that in the chat so you can follow that along as well if you're interested in box scores. And I've just added that into the chat. And you're welcome there. And there's a fastball outside. They throw down to second base. They try to backpick the runner at second, Hirasawa, but he gets back to the base in time. He got off the base far too far. He got off so far, he actually came back feet first into the bag. And that is going to bring the pitching coach out to the mound. As the last pitch was a ball outside to Takabe, and that is ball 4. So yet another walk by this Lions right-handed pitcher. Now, the good news is he's only allowed 1 hit today. The problem is he's walked 7. And as I said, if I go look at his pitch count, it's not quite up to date. Well, actually, now it would be. He's thrown 70 pitches, and 39 of them have been balls. That's absolutely staggering that they've not been able to punish him more than 1 run so far. And that brings up the center fielder, Kyoto Fujiwara, who takes a fastball down for a ball, and the count is 1-0. Curious to see what the Lions are going to roll out from the bullpen tonight. As far as I'm concerned, that is not the strength of their ball club. So 1 ball and no strikes to Fujiwara. Fujiwara tonight is officially 0 for 1. He bounced into a fielder's choice his first time up. He walked, and he's got 2 stolen bases so far in this one. So here's the 1-0 pitch, and there's a fastball swung on and missed, and the count goes to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Fujiwara. He stands up on the plate as a left-handed stick. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. And that is a fastball swung on. It's tapped up the middle. Genda fields it. He throws on the run to first. A nice play. He had to avoid the runner almost as he was fielding that ball. Makes a really nice play, and Genda fires across the infield to get Fujiwara. It goes as a ground out, 6-3 for out number 3. In the half inning, there were no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We are now moving to the top of the 5th inning. It is the Chiba Lotte Marines won the Seibu Lions nothing. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a moment with the call. On the top of the 5th inning, here's our friend Steve. Check out Steve Rademacher's channel if you get a chance after the game. Let him know Last Raps Baseball sent you, and tell him to get a haircut.
Hello, friends. Steve coming back at you, a clean-shaven Steve. Thank you for watching Last Raps Baseball. And please continue to support my channel among others, like Another Hollis Build. Awesome commercial. And now I'll show you a few more things that we do have. We have toys, like this bobblehead Star Wars on wheels. We have Noids. We can't keep avoiding them forever. We do have Legos. Love my Legos. We have Origami Folder. Check him out. He's new into this, getting started, has good following already. We have Red Beard Breaks. And we also have these things that, in a pinch, will tell you what your temperature is. So, if you like all of this, and if you like Last Raps Baseball, join all of us. We'd love to have you. And I know you would enjoy us. Thank you, peace, good night, and cheers.
Thanks again to Steve Rademacher and his support of the channel. Be sure, don't forget to go over and let him know Last Raps Baseball sent you. Here we are back to the live action. It is going to be the designated hitter Takumi Kuriyama who gets it going. And the first pitch delivered to him is a fastball swung on and missed. The count is 0-1. Kuriyama, Witt, and Yamada to get things going against Sasaki, and Sasaki delivers a fastball that is swung on and missed. The count is now 0-2. So it's definitely the tale of two pitching performances tonight. One guy is pounding the zone with strikes, and the other one is barely hanging on by the skin of his teeth. There's a fastball swung on, and it is lined down the left field line foul. And the count remains at 0-2 to Kuriyama. Kuriyama has been the only base runner tonight by the Lions. He got hit in the foot back in the 2nd inning. And so the protection he's got on his right leg has been exasperated by even more protection, as he's now got something across the top of the foot. There's a fastball that misses, and the count is 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Kuriyama. Sasaki ready to go to work. He kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball swung on and fouled away on the third base side, and that keeps the count at 1-2. Jansen Witt is waiting his turn on deck. Our first opportunity to see him was last night, and if he can start to get things going, it looks like that they may have themselves a player here. He certainly had some really good swings last night, but he did not have the success. Our St. Louis Cardinals fan, a 1990 and Blue Jays fan is in the house. We welcome you. There's the pitch. It is a fastball taken for a called third strike. And Kuriyama is gone for the first out of the inning. So 1 up and 1 away, and that's going to bring up the first baseman Witt. That is now strikeout number 9 for Sasaki tonight. He is absolutely dealing. So our St. Louis Cardinals fan is Ryan. So that gives us 2 Cardinals fans in the house, as Josh is one of those as well. There's a breaking ball that misses upstairs to Witt, and the count is 1-0. Witt is 1 for 8 on the season and has an RBI. The Redbirds are in the house tonight. There's the 1-0 pitch, and it's a fastball swung on and fouled straight back, and the count goes to 1-1. You sometimes look at players and you say, geez, there's certain guys, they fill out a uniform good. They look pretty good. I really like the way that this Witt has a look about him. He had that ball that he hit in his first at-bat last night, went opposite field with the approach, took it right to the warning track. And there is a good approach and a good swing, and he hits a line drive right to the first baseman who has to range to his right. Sato makes a great catch. Another ball that he hits on the screws does Witt. And he is going to be retired for the second out of the inning. That is going to leave it all up to Haruka Yamada. Yamada on the ball game is 0 for 1. He struck out his first time up. He had a bit of a nightmarish inning, but nothing came of the error that he made, or at least nothing that ended up happening came from the error that he made. So here we go back to the live action. Sasaki holds the ball at the chest. He kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that misses down, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes to Yamada. Yamada is 1 for 2 on the season. He knocked a run in the last night's ball game, and he got the start tonight. There's a fastball swung on. It is lifted into shallow left field, and that is going to be the first hit of the ball game for the Lions as Yamada is aboard with a base hit single. And there goes the prospective no-hit bid for Hiroki Sasaki. So Yamada is now the runner at first with 2 away. That's going to bring up the catcher, Senetsuge. For Suge tonight, he is officially 0 for 1. He struck out his first time up, like many of the other players in the Lions lineup. And here comes the first pitch from Sasaki. It's a fastball swung on and fouled away. It's going to reach the seats over on the first base side of home plate. And on that particular play, the runner Yamada was on the move. For Tsuge on the season, he is only 0 for 2. It's tough when you haven't played this year and then they throw you in against one of the hardest throwers in the entire NPB. Sasaki steps off the backside of the rubber and he fakes the throw to first. Steve Rademacher chimes in with "Go Brewers." We always are pleased to have Steve in the chat. There's a fastball that's taken for a called strike, and the count is now 0-2. Starting to look like we got the National League Central in the house tonight. A lot of Cardinals fans, Brewers fans. Both of those teams should have something great to cheer about for next year. So here comes the 0-2 pitch. Sasaki delivers, and that pitch is a breaking ball swung on and missed. And that is going to retire Tsuge for the third out of the inning. There was no runs, there was 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left aboard. That is 10 strikeouts through 5 for Sasaki. He is rolling. We're moving to the bottom of the 5th inning. It is the Chiba Lotte Marines 1, the Saitama Seibu Lions nothing. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments. The call of the bottom of the 5th inning. We're glad you could be here with us tonight. Welcome back, everybody. We are moving to the bottom of the fifth inning. It is going to be Leonis Martin, Toshiya Sato, and Brandon Laird, the 3, 4, and 5 hitters in the Chiba lineup. The question came from Josh. He says, whatever happened to Prince Fielder? The Tigers had him, and he had a bit of a neck injury. And there is a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is 1-0 to Leonis Martin. Martin is officially 0 for 1 tonight. He struck out and he has drawn a walk. So here comes the 1-0 pitch from Watanabe. He kicks and delivers. It's a fastball, swung on and missed, and the count goes even at 1-1. Fielder had a bit of an injury with his neck. They ended up fusing the neck, and I believe after Detroit, he went down to the Texas Rangers. And his career basically stalled and came to a finish there at that point. There is a breaking ball swung on and tap foul at home plate, and the count is 1-2. Fielder, his father, spent a season with the Hanshin Tiger organization. I want to say that was 1989 or it was 1990, one of those 2 years. And he ended up coming back and signing with the Detroit Tigers. That would have been Cecil Fielder. And he hit 51 homers with the Tigers that year. It was one of those stories where a guy goes over to Japan and ends up finding his game. There's a fastball swung on. This is lifted into right field. And Junichiro Kishi camps out underneath it, and that is going to retire Leonis Martin for the first out of the inning. So 1 up and 1 away, and that's going to bring up Toshiya Sato. So Cecil Fielder was basically rebuilt his game. And not only did Fielder come back to Detroit and bounce back his game after being with the Hanshin Tigers, Bill Gullickson, who had some success with the Cincinnati Reds and the Montreal Expos organization, had gone over to Japan. And then he came back to Detroit and he won north of 15 ball games, I believe, that year or the year after as well. And there is a fastball that misses outside to the batter Sato. So he has taken 2 pitches for balls. The count is 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. Zero Fox Sports Card says there's great pitching so far. Yeah, for one side there has been. For the other side, it's been absolutely atrocious. There's a fastball swung on. It has popped up behind second base. The shortstop Genda goes out. He makes the catch, and that is going to retire the batter Sato for out number 2. So 2 up and 2 away, and that's going to bring up Brandon Laird. The pitcher Watanabe has had a hard time tonight throwing strikes. He's only allowed 1 hit, but that's because he's issued 7 walks. So he's issued 7 walks in 4 2/3 innings of work. He's thrown 41 balls and 36 strikes. It's unbelievable how they've not been able to punish him so far, other than the 1 run back in the second inning. So Watanabe looks at his catcher to get the sign, and he goes back to work. And there's a breaking ball delivered to Brandon Laird. It's swung on. It's fielded by the pitcher, and he's going to take it himself all the way to first base. It's going to be a ground out to 1 for out number 3, and that's going to do it here in the 5th inning. So for the Chiba Lotte Marines, they had no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left. And we go to what we call the proverbial NPB halftime. We'll be back in just a minute with the Major League Baseball spring training scoreboard. We return in just a minute here, everybody. We're glad you guys could be here with us. Check this out, and then we'll be back for the call of the 6th inning. At the Major League Baseball out-of-town scoreboard, as the Grapefruit and Cactus Leagues are slowly coming to a finish, as the opening day will begin Next Friday, there were some shortened games, there were some rainouts in the Grapefruit League. The Baltimore Orioles won a shortened game against the Detroit Tigers in 6 innings. It was the Orioles 2, the Tigers nothing. John Means picks up the win. That's his first of the spring. Eduardo Rodriguez drops to 0-2. Fry gets the save. The Pittsburgh Pirates knocked off the Boston Red Sox 7-2. Brubaker picks up the win. He evens his record at 1-1. Nathan Eovaldi takes the loss. He's 0-1. The Minnesota Twins beat the Tampa Bay Rays 8-2. Smeltzer got the win for the Twins. McClanahan takes the loss for the Rays. The Yankees skunked the Braves today 10-0. Yankees had 10 runs, 12 hits, and no errors. The Braves had no runs, 2 hits, and 1 error in 6. Luis Severino got the win. Strider takes the loss for the Braves. The Blue Jays and the Phillies played to a 2-2 tie in their 6th inning. Shortened affair. It was a final between the Cubs and the Angels. The Cubs won 5-4. Yardley got the win. Kristofak takes the loss for the Angels. The Giants even their spring record to 7-7. They beat the Dodgers 10-2 today. Williams got the win. Phillips takes the loss. Rockies and Athletics played to an 11-11 tie. Padres lost to the Reds today. Tyler Mahle got the win. He's 2-0 now on the spring. Musgrove takes the loss. Moretta the save. 6-3 the Reds down the Padres. The Texas Rangers beat the Guardians today 3-1. Kent got the win. Shane Bieber got his second loss. And King picks up the save. The Diamondbacks beat the White Sox 8-4. Merrill Kelly got the win. Lance Lynn takes the loss. The Mariners knocked off the Brew Crew today 4-3. Steckenrider with the win for the Rams. Gott takes the loss for the Brewers. Cardinals and the Astros and the Nationals and the Marlins were postponed due to rain. So here we go, everybody, as Sasaki has returned to the mound. We're ready to resume the action in this one. Sasaki on the ball game has been extremely impressive. Tonight on the hill, he has himself already a double-digit strikeout game. He's got 10 Ks through 5. He's only allowed 1 hit. The difference between him and his counterpart, Watanabe, who's also allowed 1 hit. Watanabe has walked 7. Sasaki has walked none. So here we go, ready to resume the live action. And it's going to be the center fielder and the 9-hole hitter Shohei Suzuki to lead it off. He'll be followed by Junichiro Kishi and Brian O'Grady. And now we're ready to return to the action. And here's the first pitch from Sasaki. That's a fastball swung on and missed, and the count is quickly 0-1. One thing I didn't keep track of in this game is first pitch strikes. But I have to say, Sasaki has been absolutely electric. And there's a fastball swung on and fouled away. That last pitch was at 101 miles an hour. The count now is 0-2 to Suzuki. When you have a power arm, you've got to attack the hitters, and that's exactly what Sasaki does. He is challenging the hitters one after another, and there is a split-fingered pitch that swung on and tapped foul on the first base side of home plate. Sasaki was not happy with himself. Ball hung up just a little bit. I think I may have caught the home plate umpire. So no balls and 2 strikes. Sasaki holds at the chest. He kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on. It is grounded to the right side of the infield. It's fielded neatly by Hirasawa. He flips it over to the first baseman, Sato, covering, and it's going to go down as a ground out, 4-3. The first out here in the 6th inning. So 1 up and 1 away, and that brings up Junichiro Kishi. Kishi tonight is 0-2. He has struck out looking and flown out to right. He is now 3-7 in the early going this season. And here's the pitch from Sasaki. It is a fastball that is dropped by the catcher, Matsukawa. That last pitch looked actually like it was pretty good. I think if the catcher hangs on, that pitch is definitely going to be a strike. And there's a fastball swung on. It's grounded to second. Again, Hirasawa fields it. He throws to first. And that is going to retire The batter Kishi on a ground out 4-3. And so just like that, there's 2 quick outs here in the 6th inning. That's going to bring up the left fielder, Brian O'Grady. O'Grady tonight is 0 for 2. He's gone in the books twice via the strikeout, once swinging and once looking. Here's the pitch. It is a fastball that catches the outside corner, and the count is quickly 0-1. Sasaki ready to go back to work. He gets the sign from his catcher, Matsukawa, and he kicks and delivers, and it's a fastball swung on and missed. The count now goes to 0-2. For those that may be interested, the Marines are in their home whites, all whites with the black pinstripes. And the visitors, the Lions, they're wearing the white pants with the blue tops. I kind of like these blue tops. And there's a fastball swung on and missed. And O'Grady is down on strikes for the 3rd time tonight. And that is going to do it very quickly here for Sasaki. He is cruising through 6. There were no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left aboard. We're moving to the bottom of the 6th inning. It is the Chiba Lotte Marines 1, the Saitama Seibu Lions 0. Stick around, everybody. Here is our friend Steve again with another one of his infomercials. Be sure to check out his channel and let him know what you think about his haircut.
Hello, and we'll be right back to Last Reps Baseball after this brief message from me, Steve Rademacher. Thank you all for watching my channel and supporting me. Thank you all for supporting Freddie in Last Reps Baseball. He does an awesome job commentating. And to show you some more stuff that you could see on my channel, we have shiny Pokemon cards. We have Hall of Fame quarterbacks like Brett Favre. We have Bo Jackson playing baseball. That's right. That's his rookie card. Very nice. We even have gold. We have gold. We have wrestlers. That's Rowdy Piper. And yes, we even have Jason Stokes and many ways to destroy him. So now, thank you again. Back to your regular program with your host, Last Reps Baseball.
We are moving to the bottom half of the 6th inning. It is going to be Yasuda, Fujioka, and Hirasawa coming to bat for the Marines. Our friend DJ Drake 8 in the chat says Sasaki is something, man, and absolutely he is. Last season, he had 3 wins and 2 losses. He pitched in 63 and a third innings and struck out 68, but this is going to another level right now. There's a fastball delivered from Watanabe that misses up and in, and the count is 1-0. I'm just shocked that Watanabe is still out on the mound. He's at 81 pitches, although I have to say the last inning was his easiest inning of work. There's a fastball that misses upstairs. The count is 2-0. For him to still be in the game here in the 6th inning after allowing 7 walks through the first 5 is absolutely unbelievable. But the Marines have not been able to do anything else with them. They've only got the 1 hit, and there's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 1-1. Sasaki was the first pick of the draft in 2019 of the Marines. He went to Funato High School in Japan, so he was taken out of Japan. There's a breaking ball, drops in for a called strike, and the count is 0-2. So the question that I believe Josh asked earlier about the high school players, this is one that was selected out of the high schools. So here's the 2-2 pitch. There's a fastball swung on it. It is lifted foul down the third base side, and the count remains at 2-2. And Josh asked the question, he says, didn't you say last night there's a certain ratio a team can have? They're not allowed to play a certain amount of players at one time. And there's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into left field. It's going to get down for a hit. And so Yasuda is aboard with a single. And that's going to bring up the shortstop, Yudai Fujioka. And so, yes, the answer is correct that there are some caps here. I believe, and somebody might correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe you can have 4 international players on the game sheet for the day, but you can only have 3 in the lineup at one time. When I coached over in Europe, they used to have certain types of quotas as well. For example, you could only use an international player. If you had an international catcher, you couldn't have an international shortstop. There's a first pitch that is delivered to Fujioka as he squares the bunt. The pitch misses outside. The count is 1-0 because they wanted to develop positional players, skilled positional players. So if you had a international shortstop, then you had to have a domestic catcher. And so domestic catcher, international shortstop, or vice versa. Well, in Japan, they don't have those type of quotas from what I can see. But if you look at their teams, certain positions is what they like to bring in. Traditionally, catcher is not one of them. And there's a fastball that misses outside, and the count is 2-0. The Japanese like to produce their catchers, although there was a player last year, I believe, for either Yokohama or Chinichi. I don't see enough of those two teams last year, but I want to say it was Ariel Martinez. And he was a catcher, and it was the first time in how many years international catcher had suited up for that particular team. So here's 2 balls and no strikes. And there is a fastball that misses down to Fujioka, and the count goes to 3-0. But the Hanshin Tigers a couple of years ago had 8 international players on their roster, or at least in their system. And they were having guys down on the farm team and sticking around. So sometimes what teams will do is they'll carry 3, 4 pitchers or 5 pitchers and maybe a couple of players. And that way there they can use the bullpen arms. There's a ground ball back to the pitcher, sacrifice bunt that is, and Fujioka gets the job done. It's going to go down as a sacrifice, 1-3. That is going to move Yasuda over to second. That's going to bring up the second baseman, Taiga Hirasawa. So this has got a very similar feel to the second inning when Yasuda was able to reach base on a walk. Fujioka bunted him over to second, and then Hirasawa drove him in. So here we go again. Here comes the first pitch now to Hirasawa. And Watanabe kicks and delivers. It's a split finger pitch, swung on and missed, and the count is 0-1. So hope that answers your question, Josh, about the number of players. You can have unlimited amount of players, but basically you wouldn't want to have 7 or 8 guys, in my opinion. If you can only play 3 at one time, you might have 5 or 6. That would be where you want to live. And there's a fastball swung on. It is lined over the head of the third baseman. Here comes the throw to the plate. Is it going to be in time? And it's not. The play at the plate is safe. But already the Lions are wanting to go and have a look at the VAR, and that's exactly what's going to happen. So Hirasawa is going to get a single as he had hit the ball into left field. The runner, Yasuda, trying to score from second base. We're going to have to get the decision on that. That is going to be the second RBI of the night for the second baseman, Hirasawa. And this one is going to the replay. We're going to take a look at the replay ourselves. It was kind of a weird throw. I have to say the left fielder for the Lions, Brian O'Grady, made this kind of off-balance throw. It was really good in spite of the fact that it looked like he wasn't really going to be able to make that play. So he got the ball. He comes up gunning. And as the throw comes to the plate, the ball looks like it's in time. Was the tag in time? And that's what we look at in our angle there. And I'm not sure that he was able to apply the tag in time. Although on a different angle, it looks like that the catcher may have got him. So this might be the deciding angle here. And I don't think the tag is in time. If I'm giving you the report, I'm saying it's an RBI scoring single. And it's going to be 2-0 here for the Marines. But we're going to wait to see what the umpires see, if they see something different. And if they see what I've saw, this decision could be over in a big hurry, as it looks like the runner has beat the tag, and here they come with their decision, and it is a safe call. So that is the second time tonight that Yasuda has scored a run, and the second RBI of the game for Hirasawa. So that's going to bring up the catcher, Ko Matsukawa. And on that throw, Hirasawa ends up going down to second base. So he is at second now. He's traded places with the base runner, Yasuda. Josh says tie goes to the runner, and there is a breaking ball. Let's take it for a called strike. And if you ask major league umpires, they say no such thing. Strikes and outs make the game go quicker. So there will not be a tie to the runner because you're going to be out there a little bit longer than most. There is a fastball delivered to Matsukawa, and he takes that for a ball, and the count is 1-1. Again, it makes me wonder what is going on with the Lions. That's the 95th pitch of the ball game. And I would have liked to have said that the right-hander Watanabe has run out of gas, but he may have run out of gas a few innings earlier. So here's the 1-1 pitch. It's a fastball swung on and missed. And the count is 1-2. Josh says, I respect that the fans have pinstripes on their ponchos. Yeah, there's some interesting stuff. Last year, the Marines used to have this mascot that would, I don't even know what it was. It would come out in about the 5th or 6th inning, and it would, some sort of sea serpent would pop out of an egg, and he would do all kinds of crazy tricks. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count is 1-2. So 1-2 strikes, but after one season, they retired him. It's kind of funny. So Matsukawa steps in on the right side and ready to face the right-hander Watanabe. When I go back and look at Watanabe's stats from his previous outing, it wasn't the base on balls that killed him. He gave up a bunch of hits, and there's a fastball swung on. It's lifted into deep right center field. This ball is going to get down, and it's going to get up against the wall. On his way to second is the hitter, Matsukawa, and he's got himself an RBI double. He has traded places with Hirasawa, and it is now a 3-0 lead. And we're getting to the point where this lead may be insurmountable with the way Sasaki is pitching in the ball game. And that is going to bring up the top of the order, Akito Takabe. So it's now 3-0 for the Marines here in the bottom of the 6th. And of course, the manager, Iguchi, is giving his applause, showing his appreciation for the swing by his catcher. And that is finally going to do it. We are going to get ourselves a pitching change. That is it for 98 pitches to Watanabe. He, in my opinion, has gone way further than I would have thought. We're just going to take a little break here, everybody. I got to go get myself a drink. And we're going to see how this game is going to wrap up here for us over the next few innings. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments. Here is our friend, Matt Hollis.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I'll take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's another Hollis build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Welcome back, everybody. The Seibu Seibu Lions are going to the bullpen, and we'll have to get you that information in just a moment. Looks like they are bringing in a lefty. I had to step away to get myself a little drink and get ourselves prepared to ready to call the rest of this one. The one thing I do need is some Halls or some throat lozenges because I have a feeling my voice is getting a little bit raspy at this time. And we'll see how this one is about to play out. So they do have a left-handed reliever in the game. And this is going to be Takuro Sasaki. So a couple of Sasakis in the game. And the first pitch he throws to Kito Takabe is swung on and missed. And the count is 0-1. So two Sasakis now on the mound, one for each different team. And there's a breaking ball that is swung on and missed. And the count is 0-2. So Takuro Sasaki in the ball game, the lefty for the Lions. So here we are back to the action. It's no balls and 2 strikes to Takabe, and here comes the pitch from Sasaki. It is a fastball taken for a called third strike. And the leadoff hitter is retired for the second out of the inning, and that is going to leave it up to Kyoda Fujiwara. So Fujiwara is coming to the plate with 2 away and the runner on second. For Fujiwara tonight, he is officially 0 for 2. He bounced into a fielder's choice. He walked, and he's grounded to short. He's got 2 stolen bases tonight. He squares to bunt. He takes a breaking ball for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. So Josh says, is it Freddie or Freddie with the IE? I don't know. Everybody calls me that. That's you have to ask those guys. I'm not so much Freddie or Freddie or Freddie with the Y or the IE either way. So here we go. Here comes the 1-strike pitch. And it is a fastball swung on. It is tapped slowly over to first. It's fielded, and it is in no man's land. It is in the Bermuda Triangle. And the speed of Fujiwara allows him to get himself a base hit. And he is aboard with a single. That's going to advance Matsukawa over to third, and it's going to bring up Leonis Martin. It's a tough play because the pitcher, at least the way we teach it, is they've got to go hard to the foul line. If the pitcher can't cut it off, then he keeps going up the foul line to get to the base because that tells the first baseman that he has to field the ball. And so that's the things that we work on in that situation. And so we have ourselves a situation here for sure with Fujiwara on first and Matsukawa on third. And this is where we have to watch for the little Kansas City play that they run. We used to call it a Kansas City play back in the day. I'm not sure why it got that name, but we knew Kansas City was the nickname and we would use it. And that's when the first and third, the runner would take off to second, try to induce a throw, but allow that runner from third to be able to score. So runners on the corners with 2 away. Sasaki comes set at the belt and he delivers. It's a fastball that misses off the outside corner, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Leonis Martin is 0 for 2 tonight. He's walked and he has struck out and flown to right. He still hasn't got it going yet this season. So here's the 1-0 pitch. It's a fastball swung on and missed, and the count is now 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Leonis Martin. He stands in on the left side to face the left-hander Sasaki, and now time has been called. That's something that you don't see in Japan. You don't see or at least we haven't seen the people running on the field like you do in North America, or, certain situations that cause some problems. I was thinking about that the other night. I haven't seen any bench clearing brawls in the Japanese league to this point yet. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Looks like there's a little precipitation now in the area, and Sasaki throws over to first base, and getting back in time is the base runner Fujiwara. I didn't think there was any rain slated for tonight. Interesting to see how they manage this, but the people in the camera well have got their rain hoodies on. People in the stands have put their rain gear up. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Martin. And Sasaki ready to deliver. He kicks and fires. It's a fastball swung on. This ball is cranked foul into deep right field. Leonis Martin turned on that pitch, and he sent it a long ways. But it's just going to go down as a long strike, and the count is now 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. It's a great night for baseball, or a great day for baseball, but it's maybe a little bit marred based on the weather that we are starting to see. So here comes the 1-2 pitch to Leonis Martin. He stands in, he waits. Sasaki kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on. This is lifted into left field. It's going to hang up enough, and O'Grady is going to make the catch, and that is going to retire Martin for the 3rd out of the inning. But the damage has been done. There were 2 runs in the inning. There were 3 hits. Check that, 4 hits. There were no errors and 2 runners left aboard. We are now through 6 complete innings. It is the Chiba Lotte Marines 3, the Saitama Seibu Lions nothing. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments with the call of the top of the 7th inning. We're glad you could be here with us. Hold tight, everybody. Welcome back, everybody. We are moving to the top of the 7th inning, and it is going to be the 3, 4, and 5 hitters coming to bat for the Lions. That means Suzuki Genda, Takiya Nakamura, and Takumi Kuriyama to face the hard-throwing right-hander Roki Sasaki. There is a change as Edney Hechavarria has entered into the ball game. We'll have to check to see who he's replaced. It looks like he's coming in to play third base. I don't know if that's a straight-up substitution for Yasuda or not, but we'll find out in a minute. There's another change as well in the infield, and there's the first pitch fastball to Genda that is taken for a called strike. Count is 0-1. Sasaki goes back to work. He delivers another fastball. This one is swung on and fouled away. And the count goes to 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes to Suzuki Genda. Genda is 0 for 2 tonight. He struck out and grounded out. And there is a breaking ball that just misses upstairs, and the count goes to 1-2. Something to note is every time Sasaki gets onto the rubber, he always holds the ball in his split finger grip, and then he makes the adjustment in his glove. And there is a fastball swung on. This ball is golfed into right center field. It gets by the glove of Leonis Martin, and it's all the way to the wall. Digging for second and heading to third is Genda, and he's got himself a stand-up triple. So the Lions are not dead yet. So Genda has got himself a leadoff triple here in the 7th inning. That's scheduled to bring up the third baseman, Takeya Nakamura. So Josh asks the question, what is the climate in Japan? How hot will it get throughout the year? Well, in Japan, you can get some pretty hot and soupy days in the summertime. They do get their tsunamis in place. Now, mind you, when I was in Tokyo over the Christmas holidays a couple years ago, the warmest temperature I think I had in Tokyo, you could get into the low 50s in December, early January. So the temperature today, or right now in Chiba, there's a fastball swung on by Nakamura, and that's fouled away, and the count is now 0-1. Is 54 degrees with light rain, and they are calling for some rain here over the next pretty much till about 8 p.m. And so local time right now, you're looking at about 4 o'clock local time. So the rain is going to be with us to the end of this one. There's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-2. So something that's interesting is that I learned when I had my meetings in Japan, and I know they like to play with what's they refer to as the rubber ball, the Kenko ball, that 90% of baseball played in Japan is played using the rubber ball. And there's the 0-2 pitch. It's a fastball swung on. It's lifted foul over on the first base side, and the count remains at 0-2. And I say that using the rubber ball. And the question came up is, why do they use the rubber ball? Well, they get a lot of rain, a lot of inclement weather. The things that you see, especially on the children's ground, there's a lot of dirt infields. And so when you get to field the ball, it's used so that you can get a good grip on the ball. You can play in the rain. You can play in unseasonably, what I would call not perfect conditions. There's a split finger pitch delivered to Nakamura, who swings and misses. And that is the first out of the inning, and that's going to bring up Takumi Kuriyama. So Kuriyama comes to bat with 1 out. That is strikeout number 12 on the ball game for Sasaki. Kuriyama tonight is 0 for 1. He is struck out and has been hit by a pitch, and he takes a first pitch fastball inside for a ball, and the count is 1-0. On the season, his average has dropped to 182. He's 4 for 22. I don't know if this is turning into the year of the pitcher in the Pacific League. But as we said before, the offensive numbers are a little bit suspect right now. And there's a split finger pitch swung on. It's grounded to second. It's fielded by the second baseman, Taiga Hirasawa, and he throws to first, and that is going to erase Kuriyama on a ground out, 4-3. For out number 2, and that's going to bring up the first baseman, Jansen Witt. But it is going to cash a run in because the base runner Genda has scored from third. So Kuriyama also gets himself an RBI. And that is now going to make the score 3-1 for the Chiba Lotte Marines. So here comes Witt. He steps up to the plate. He is 0 for 2 tonight. And here's the first pitch from Sasaki. It's a breaking ball that misses outside. The count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. So Witt is the hitter here with two away in the seventh inning, and he takes a split finger pitch down, and the count now goes to 2-0. We talked a little bit about Jansen Witt last night. He is a former Texas Christian University Horned Frog. He was originally drafted by the Boston Red Sox, ended up in the Seattle Mariners organization last year. He never reached the big league level. He did get to AAA, and here comes the 2-0 pitch, and it is a fastball swung on. It's grounded to short. Fujioka picks it up. He throws to first, and that is going to retire Witt for the third out. Goes as a ground out, 6-3 for out number 3. So for the Lions in their half of the seventh inning, they got a run in the inning on one hit, the triple by Genda. He later came around and scored. There were no errors and nobody left on base. The score now is the Chiba Lotte Marines 3, the Seibu Lions 1. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments. The call at the bottom of the seventh inning. We're glad you could be here with us.
Hello, and we'll be right back to Last Reps Baseball after this brief message from me, Steve Rademacher. Thank you all for watching my channel and supporting me. Thank you all for supporting Freddie and Last Reps Baseball. He does an awesome job commentating. And to show you some more stuff that you could see on my channel, we have shiny Pokemon cards. We have Hall of Fame quarterbacks like Brett Favre. We have Bo Jackson playing baseball. That's right. That's his rookie card. Very nice. We even have gold. We have gold. We have wrestlers. That's Rowdy Piper. And yes, we even have Jason Stokes and many ways to destroy him. So now, thank you again. Back to your regular program with your host, Last Reps Baseball.
Once again, thanks, Steve, for your support of our channel. And in return, we like to support him. That is Steve Rademacher. There is a pitching change. We are going to the bullpen. And it is a pitcher who we saw last night. This is Tetsu Miyagawa. So Tetsu Miyagawa is entering the ball game as he is replacing the reliever Sasaki, who came in to replace Watanabe. So Tetsu Miyagawa, a right-hander, coming into the ball game. And for Miyagawa, he is in relief here. He pitched last night. He came in relief of the starter Samita. He came in the eighth inning, and well, actually, sorry about that. He came in the last night in the sixth inning. He allowed one hit. He struck out 2, and he held them in the ball game. So it'll be interesting to see how the Lions will play this one out here. Got to try to keep it close, as it is a 3-1 lead right now for the Marines. Just a quick check for everybody. We're getting just a couple updates in here, and we'll give you the scores from around the NPB in just a couple moments. The attendance tonight is 21,315. That is what the Marines have. Not as strong a crowd as yesterday, but it is a festive crowd nonetheless. So here comes the hitter Toshiya Sato to lead it off. It'll be Sato, Laird, and Yasuda to face the right-handed reliever Miyagawa. And the first pitch is a breaking ball that misses down and in. The count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Sato tonight is officially 0 for 2. He's also drawn a walk. So here comes the 1-0 pitch, and it's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into right center field. Moving over to his right and getting underneath it is the right fielder Kishi, and he's going to make the catch, and that is going to retire Sato for out number 1. So 1 up and 1 away, and that's going to bring up the first, or the designated hitter, Brandon Laird. So for Laird tonight, He is officially 0 for 3. He's flown to the left, he's flown to center, and he's grounded back to the pitcher. His average is now dipped to 233 on the season. And here's the pitch from Miyagawa. It's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike to Brandon Laird. Miyagawa comes set at the belt. He stares to the sky. Very interesting each pitch, and then he delivers a fastball off the outside corner, and the count goes to 1-1. Even though the crowd is bundled up, trying to stay away from the rain, it has not got bad yet. It's just a little bit of a light shower, I guess we would say right now. Here comes the 1-1 pitch, and there's a fastball swung on and tap foul on the third base side, and the count goes to 1-2. Very interesting to see how in the Pacific League that the home runs are very, very low this year. As we said, I'd like to do a little bit of digging to see how this compares to other years. So here comes the 1-2 from Miyagawa. It's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count now goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. So here comes the 2-2 pitch. The kick and deliver. It's a fastball that misses down and away, and the count goes to 3-2 to Laird. Laird will be followed by Yasuda here. Well, we assume it's going to be Yasuda. I don't know. As Edney Hechavarria has taken over at third base, I don't know if Yasuda had moved over to first. We'll have to confirm that in a moment. So here comes the 3-2 to Laird. It's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into deep left field. Moving back onto the warning track. It's off the wall. It's fielded by O'Grady. He fires it into second base, and sliding in safely is Brandon Laird with a 1-out double. And so he is now at second with 1 away, and that is, we're going to have to see who that's going to bring in here, if that is indeed Yasuda. Looks like that's going to be it for Brandon Laird today. He is going to be brought out of the game for a pinch runner. So we're going to have some changes all over the place. Laird is getting his high fives as he gets back to the dugout. And he gets a little wave to the crowd, and that's going to bring in a pinch runner for him, and that is going to be, it looks like it's Wada, who has come into the game on other occasions. This is Koshiro Wada. So Wada into the game, and Edney Hechavarria is indeed the batter, and he takes a first pitch fastball upstairs. The count is quickly 1-0 to Hechavarria. Hechavarria is 3 for 10 on the season. He's got a homer and an RBI. So Hechavarria stands in at the plate with the count at 1-0. And here's the pitch. It is a fastball that misses down, and count goes to 2-0 to Hechavarria. We saw Hechavarria's first home run of the season, and the thing that was most impressive was his bat flip. It had a lot of hang time as he had tossed it into the air, but he knew it was a no-doubter. So here comes the 2-0 pitch to Hechavarria. And there's a fastball swung on. That's fouled away over on the first base side. And the count now goes, or is 2 balls and 1 strike to Hechavarria. The question Josh asks, do declining MLB players ever come to the NPB? And there's a fastball swung on, and this ball is lifted into right field, and moving over underneath it, or right center field, is the center fielder, Suzuki makes the catch. Tagging at second is Wada. He's going to advance to a third, and that's going to bring up the shortstop Yudai Fujioka. Well, the thing that's interesting about Hechavarria, to the point that Josh asks in the chat, he says, do MLB players ever come to the NPB and do well, or do they typically continue to do poorly? Well, in the case of Hechavarria, he never really swung the bat very well in the big leagues. So sometimes it's kind of hard to notice which is better and which is not. We've never really seen him particularly do it. We do have a break in the action here as there is a visit to the mound. The pitching coach is out to see the right-hander Miyagawa. So they got the runner on third and 2 away. But I would say that some players at the end of their career, it becomes the end of their career. I look at Adam Jones. He was a shell of his former self. They brought him into Oryx maybe more for leadership than anything else. So here comes Fujioka to the plate. But there have been some players that have gone over and have been absolutely outstanding in Japan after some decent big league careers. As a fastball swung on, this is lifted down the line in foul territory in left field. It looks like there's going to be room, and O'Grady's going to make the catch as he slams into the fence. And that is going to be the third out of the inning. A nice play by Brian O'Grady. So that is going to do it here for Chiba in their half of the 7th inning. I'll come back to Josh's question in just a couple minutes. There was no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left aboard. We are now through 7 complete. It is the Chiba Lotte Marines 3, the Saitama Seibu Lions 1. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments with all the call and all the action. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be right back after this from our friend Matt again.
Well, you've got to have an ace in the hole, a little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play, but you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just one roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole.
Welcome back, everybody. We are moving to the top half of the 8th inning. Roki Sasaki is cruising along with 12 strikeouts. Be curious to see if he is going to stick around here to get a complete game. Just going to go back to the question that Josh asked in the last half inning about MLB players, declining players come over and start to do well. That's a great question, and I can't think of too many guys off the top of my head. I know that there's been players that have come over in the middle of their careers. One guy I think of who is in Japan is Dayan Visayedo, who got kind of pushed out in Chicago when Jose Abreu came in. And he's come in and he's had a brilliant career over in Japan. There's a fastball from Sasaki that misses inside to Haruka Yamada, who's leading it off here, and the count is 1-0. Yamada is 1 for 2 tonight. He's got one of the 2 hits off of Sasaki. It'll be Yamada, Suge, and Suzuki. And there's a fastball delivered to Yamada. Swung on, it is popped up over to second base, and it is going to be caught by the second baseman Hirasawa, and that is going to retire Yamada for the first out. So Josh asks, didn't Manny Ramirez come over? Manny Ramirez, I don't remember him in Japan at all, but one player who did go to Japan was Kevin Youkilis at the end of his career. And the Uke pretty much was in the twilight of his career, and he ran out of gas when he got to Japan. But Youkilis had went over there. They thought he might have been able to squeeze another year or 2 left. Jesse Barfield and Lloyd Mosby also went over, played with the Yomiuri Giants. There's a fastball swung on. It's lifted foul. It's going to reach the seats over on the first base side of home plate. I remember talking with regards to that. And some players are looking to get or extend a payday. They get over and they're able to pick up another year of a contract. You get paid some pretty decent money, especially if you've had a name in Major League Baseball. You can extend your career with some more money. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count is now 0-2 to Suge. He is 0 for 2 tonight. He struck out both times against Sasaki. I wouldn't be surprised now after that last breaking ball. We're going to see Sasaki dial something up here. So here's the 0-2 pitch. There's a fastball split finger variety that misses down. The count is 1-2. So every once in a while, you do get some names. Over time, there's a lot of big names that have played in Japan. Or guys at the time I would consider big names like Davey Johnson, Reggie Smith, Warren Cromartie for sure from the Montreal Expo fame. There's a fastball swung on. It's grounded to third. It's fielded easily by Hechavarria. He throws to first. And Suge is going to be retired on a ground out. 5-3 for out number 2. That's going to leave it up to the center fielder, Shohei Suzuki. For Suzuki, he is 0 for 2 tonight, a strikeout and a ground out to his name. So he is going to be facing the right-hander Sasaki for the third time. Trying to give ourselves a little bit more information here. Here comes the pitch from Sasaki. It's a fastball taken for a called strike. So Sasaki to Suzuki, and the count is 0-1. For Suzuki tonight, he's 0 for 2. He struck out and grounded out. So here's the 0-1 pitch. It is a fastball that just misses off the outside corner, and the count goes to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Back to work goes the right-hander Sasaki. He delivers a fastball, swung on and missed. Count is now 1-2 to Suzuki. We're just looking ahead a little bit to next week. On Monday, we are going to call, or we're planning to call, Monday North American time. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is driven into left center field. This ball is going to get down. It's up against the wall. Digging for 2 is the hitter Suzuki, and he's going to go in with a stand-up double. So he is aboard with a 2-out double here in the 8th, and that's going to bring up the top of the order, Junichiro Kishi. So we're just looking at the games next week. There are a couple of day games in Japan time. For us, that means 10 o'clock time Pacific in North America. We intend to call the Tohoku Rakuten Gold Eagles and the Saitama Seibu Lions. So Monday night North America, that's the Tuesday and the Wednesday games. We'll be on the air for those ones early. And we'll check the schedule and see how it's going to play out for everything else. There's a fastball delivered and taken for a called strike by Kishi, and the count is quickly 0-1. Start to get into some late night affairs. Us on the weekend, we decided to do the 10 o'clock first pitches again, North American time. There's a breaking ball that's taken for a called strike. And the count now is 0-2 to Kishi. So one would think that Sasaki is going to go with his bread and butter. He should power this one up here. So here comes the 0-2 pitch. Dixon delivers. It's a split finger pitch, swung on and missed. And that is going to retire Kishi. And the 8th inning is over here for the Lions. There was no runs on 1 hit. There were no errors and nobody left, and 1 runner left aboard. We are now through 7.5. It is the Chiba Lotte Marines 3, the Saitama Seibu Lions 1. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with the call in just a couple moments. We're glad you could be here with us. This game has got some pace tonight. So hang tight, everybody. We'll be right back in just a minute. Welcome back, everybody. We are moving to the bottom half of the 8th inning, and that means for the Marines, it'll be the 8, 9, and wood hitters coming to bat. Taiga Hirasawa, Ko Matsukawa, and Akito Takabe to come to the stick. One would anticipate that the Lions may be making another pitching change, but may or may not be the case if they're going to stay with Miyagawa here. Just going to have to get ourselves a quick update when that comes in. Josh says he's calling it a night. We appreciate you stopping in. Tuesday and Wednesday, 10 o'clock Pacific time. That I believe is midnight Central time. We will be back on the air again. And so hopefully you can join us, Josh. We do appreciate you being here. Thank you for your support. Have a great night. So Hirasawa, Matsukawa, and Takabe coming to bat here in the bottom of the 8th inning. We're interested to see if they are going to bring Roki Sasaki back in for the 9th inning to see if he can close out a complete game and get a victory. The Marines do have a closer in Masuda, but why not keep your best closer on the mound, which is your starting pitcher? And there is a pitching change that's going to take place here. It is going to be Tagame coming into the game, and we'll have to get you that update as it is available. We'll look at the roster here. I think that's, in my opinion, I think it's Ken Tagame, but that's working off the top of my head. So here we go back to the live action. And here's the first pitch. It is a fastball that misses down, and the count is 1-0. But we do have a pinch hitter as well in the game. This is number 00. There's a fastball swung on. It is grounded. It takes a wicked hop over the third baseman's head. That ball is going to get into the left field corner. O'Grady is going to pick it up. The third baseman over there, Nakamura, almost had his head ripped off. But that is going to be a double down the line, and that was Raito Ikeda. So Ikeda had come to bat here for Hirasawa to get things going. And he's got himself a leadoff double here in the 8th inning. So we're just making the updated notes that Ikeda got himself a pinch hit double. That's going to bring up the catcher, or schedule will bring up the catcher, Ko Matsukawa. So Matsukawa steps up, and he's already squaring the bunt. He is tonight officially 1 for 3, doubled and knocked a run in his last time up. Ikeda's the runner at second, and he gets it down, and it is fielded by the catcher, who throws it over to first, and that is going to retire Matsukawa. That actually goes down as a sacrifice, 2-4 for the first out of the inning, and that moves Ikeda all the way over to third, and that's going to bring up the top of the order, Akito Takabe. So a lot of high fives all around the dugout. So Takabe is going to be the hitter with the runner on third. The infield has moved in right onto the proverbial grass. Of course, they're playing on turf. So here comes the first pitch. It is a fastball that misses down and away, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Takabe today is officially 0 for 2. He's been on base twice. He's walked twice. He struck out and grounded out. So 1 ball and no strikes. Here comes the pitch. It is a split finger pitch. It misses down, and the count is now 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. So here comes the 2-0 pitch, and it's a fastball that misses outside, and now it's 3-0 to Takabe. Makes you wonder almost if this is kind of by design, although I don't think I'd want to be putting Takabe on base, or at least this situation. Will set up a double play potential, but the hitter, Fujiwara, who's on deck, runs really well. And there's a fastball swung on it. It's grounded through the 6 hole into left field. It's a base hit for Takabe. And he's going to pick himself up an RBI through the drawn-in infield. That will score Ikeda from third. And the score is now 4-1 for the Marines, as they have given themselves a little bit of insurance here in the 8th inning. So 4-1 is the scoreline. That's going to bring up the center fielder, Kyota Fujiwara. Fujiwara tonight has been on base 3 times. He's officially 1 for 3. There's a fastball that misses outside. They throw down to second base, and that throw is not in time. It was a stolen base by Takabe. So he steals second. Well, if I'm the Saitama Seibu Lions, I'm a little concerned about my catching. They've not been able to control the running game. Sometimes you could put the blame on the pitcher. But what I'm seeing here is a bit of a slow release here against Sugi, and he was able to really get to the bag. I'd have to do a pop time to find out where he's at with that, but certainly he has struggled. So 2 balls and no strikes. And here comes the pitch. It's a fastball. Take it for a called strike. And the count now goes to 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike to Fujiwara. Again, Miyagawa checks the runner at second. He's ready to go back to work. He kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on. It's lifted foul over on the third base side. The count now is even up at 2-2. Fujiwara has 2 stolen bases tonight. Takabe has 1. That is 3 in the ball game for the Marines. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. It is a breaking ball swung on. It is popped up behind home plate. Sugi going back to the backstop. He's got room, and he's going to make the catch. And that is going to retire Fujiwara for the second out of the inning. That is going to bring up the right fielder, Leonis Martin. For Martin tonight, he is 0 for 3 in a walk. He's also struck out in that 0 for 3, flown to right and flown to left. He is 3 for 26 on the season with a 115 batting average. He's really struggled to get things going early. But as everybody knows, once he gets going, he can swing the bat a little bit. And there is a breaking ball that misses upstairs, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes to Martin. He bats from the left side against the right-hander Miyagawa, who's ready to go back to work. He kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that misses outside. And the count is now 2-0. You do have an open base over at first, but this is getting into the meat of the batting order for the Marines. So 2 balls and no strikes, 2 away with the runner at second. Here comes the pitch to Martin. It is a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into deep right center field. Camping out underneath it is Suzuki. He's going to make the catch, and that is going to do it for the Marines in their half of the 8th inning. But they do get some insurance. They got a run in the inning on a couple of hits. There were no errors and 1 runner left aboard. We are going to the 9th inning, everybody. It is the Chiba Lotte Marines 4, the Saitama Seibu Lions 1. We're going to see if they're going to leave Sasaki in to close it out, or if they're going to go to the bullpen. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments after this. From our friend, Matt Hollis.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's Another Hollis Build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the closer for the Chiba Lotte Marines coming in. That means it is going to be Naoya Masuda. Masuda is coming into the ball game, and he is taking over for Roki Sasaki, who is absolutely outstanding tonight. We'll get you his line in just a couple moments once we can get Naoya Masuda in the book. And he is taking over here in the ninth inning as he's completing his warm-up tosses. Masuda last year had a bit of a struggle at the beginning of the season to get going, and once he settled down, he was pretty electric. So he is taking over here in the ninth inning. And the line on Sasaki, 8 innings pitched, 3 hits, 1 run. It was earned. There were no walks and 13 strikeouts. He threw 99 pitches and 74 for strikes. Very impressive. So now they turn it over to their closer to try to finish the deal. And who is he going to face in this inning? Well, he's going to get the 2, 3, and 4 hitters in the batting order. It's going to be Brian O'Grady, Sasuke Genda, and Takiya Nakamura. So O'Grady tonight is 0 for 3. He was probably right at the top of the dugout cheering when Sasaki was announced he's coming out of the game. He's 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts tonight. The first pitch from Masuda is a fastball that is swung on and missed. And the count is 0-1. There are some changes as Hiromi Oka has gone into the outfield defensively for the Marines. One would have to think that he has replaced Leonis Martin. So here's the 0-1 pitch. It's a fastball that misses off the outside corner, and the count is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. So Masuda ready to go back to work. He kicks and he delivers. It's a fastball swung on and it's lifted foul behind home plate. And the count now is 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to O'Grady. O'Grady entered the ball game tonight hitting .310, but that number has slipped a bit. But he has had some good swings, even though he struck out at the 3 times up to the plate. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. There's a split finger pitch that misses down, and the count runs to 2-2. One thing we noted last year about Masuda is he would really have to battle. He always fights and battles and throws a lot of pitches. It's never an easy closure for this right-hander. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. And there is a fastball swung on, and this ball is lifted into right field past the second baseman. It's going to get down for a hit. It's fielded by Oka, and he fires it in. So O'Grady is aboard with a single here to lead it off in the 9th inning. And that's going to bring up Sasuke Genda. For Genda, he tripled his last time up. He's got the only run scored for the Lions tonight. He is 1 for 3, but that was against Roki Sasaki. So O'Grady takes a deep sigh of relief as he gets his lead off of first base. So here comes the first pitch to Genda. It's a fastball that misses inside. The count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. They definitely want to keep this fella off the base paths because Takeya Nakamura would be coming up next, and he is the tying run as he waits on deck. So here comes the 1-0 pitch. It's a fastball. Take it for a called strike, and the count is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Suzuki Genda. Genda gets dug in. He's waiting on the delivery from Masuda. Kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball that misses outside. Masuda sure didn't like that call. It's now 2 balls and 1 strike. Masuda gets the ball. He's ready to go back to work. He comes set at the belt, and he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that misses outside, and the count is 3-1. So 3 balls and 1 strike. The manager Gucci is a fastball. Take it for a called strike, and the count now Genda. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Masuda's come in and he's thrown 10 pitches to the 2 hitters so far that he's faced. Here comes the 3-2 to Genda. Masuda delivers. It is a breaking ball swung on and tap fall. It's going to go over on the first base side. Had Genda taken the pitch, it would have been ball 4. He was out in front of it and hooked it over to the first base side. So 3 balls and 2 strikes to Genda. Masuda ready to go back to work. He gets the sign from his catcher, Matsukawa, and here we go. He kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into right field. Moving over to his right and making the grab is Oka. And he is retired for the first out of the inning. So that's going to bring up the third baseman, Takeya Nakamura. So Nakamura is definitely a double play candidate. He does not run particularly well, but he can put a charge into the baseball. One would think that if he reaches base, he will definitely be a pinch run candidate, as we are here late in the ball game. As he represents would be the third run of the ball game. So there's a pitch. It is a split finger pitch that misses down, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes to Nakamura. So again, we're ready to go back to work. William Jackson in the house. Welcome back, William. You're here for crunch time. There's a fastball is swung on. It has popped up into left center field. Moving over underneath it is the left fielder, Takabe. He's going to make the catch. That's going to retire Nakamura for the second out of the inning. That's going to leave it all up to Takumi Kuriyama. So Kuriyama tonight is officially 0 for 2. He was hit by a pitch, and he's knocked in the only run of the ball game for the Lions. He's 4 for 23 on the season. He's hitting a $174. He's got to find a way to get on so they can bring the tying run to the plate, which is on deck in Jansen Witt. And here's the first pitch. It is a fastball that misses off the outside corner, and the count is 1-0. So Masuda still battling away. So here comes the 1-0 to Kuriyama. It's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 1-1. I have to say that first pitch that was called a ball looked a lot better than the second pitch that was called a strike. But on further review, that ball did have some backdoor run to it, so I could see how it maybe caught the inside corner. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Masuda holds at the belt. And he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on. This ball is belted into deep right field. It's going to be trouble. It's going to get down. It's off the wall. Oka fields it. He fires it in. O'Grady is going to be held at third. Now the ball gets away from the relay man. O'Grady is going to score. And Nakamura knows his limits as he is now standing on second base. And that is now going to make the score 4-2. And one would think we're going to see ourselves a pinch runner for Kuriyama at second. So Kuriyama gets himself a double. It's interesting to see how they score that. I think on the relay throw, the ball was poorly fielded by the second baseman. Ended up squirting away from Ikeda. And it did allow the base runner Kuriyama to get all the way over to third, and now we have a pinch runner for him. So it's probably going to be an E4, and that's going to bring the tying run to the plate in Jansen Witt. Here's the first pitch from Masuda. It's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count is 1-0. So they brought the tying run to the plate here in the 9th inning, and I said it at the outset of the inning, it would have been probably your best closer was Roki Sasaki. Let him finish the game. He was cruising right along. So here comes the 1-0 pitch. There's a fastball swung on. It's going to reach the seats down the right field line. And the count is 1-1. So Masuda's had to work here in this inning. This is going to be pitch number 20. There's nothing worse than going out and spilling your guts for 8 innings, pitching really well, getting hooked, and then watching your closer let this one slip away. So here's the 1-1 pitch. It's a fastball swung on. This ball is belted down the right field line. Moving over towards the stands is Oka, but it's going to reach the netting. It's going to bring the count to 1-2 on Witt. What I saw last night, what I've seen tonight, there may be some juice in the bat for Witt going the other way. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Masuda down, ready to go. The Lions are down to their final strike. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. It's a split finger pitch down in the dirt. Nice job by the hitter Witt to lay off of that one. It's going to keep the count at 2-2. Just as a reminder, everybody, after this game is over, we are going to do a recap of the scores from around the NPB. So be sure to stay with us for that. And then we will call it a night. But as a reminder, we are going to be back on Tuesday for the Tuesday game, or what I would say the late Monday game in North America. So here comes the 2-2 pitch. It is a fastball swung on. It's tap foul, fielded at home plate. Interesting there, as Jansen Witt, we saw the pitcher go up into the zone and he changed his delivery, trying to throw the batter off timing. So that keeps the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Masuda looks in. He gets the sign from his catcher, Matsukawa. He's ready to go back to work. He kicks and he delivers. He's got that little extra kick there. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is belted to deep right field. It could be trouble, and it is, if it's fair, it's trouble, but it's not. It lands foul right up against the base of the fence. So he said earlier about Witt, he's got some opposite field juice. That ball was absolutely scorched. Right fielder Oka was getting over to try to make the play. As we said, I like the way that Witt has been swinging the bat, even though he's got nothing to show for it these last two nights. It's going to keep the count at 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to Witt. Masuda looks in. He's ready to go back to work. And here he kicks and delivers. It's a split finger pitch that is swung on and missed. And that is going to do it here for the Seibu Seibu Lions in their half of the 9th inning. They make it interesting, but not interesting enough. The final score in this one is the Chiba Lotte Marines 4, the Seibu Seibu Lions 2. The 9th inning, the Lions had 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, and 1 runner left the board. That is your final score. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple minutes. We appreciate you being here. We'll wrap it up with the out-of-town scoreboard, and then we'll call it a night. Here's our friend Matt.
Good evening, sports fans. I hope you all have been enjoying the game. This is just another message from another Hollis build. I hope that your team is in the lead, but if not, remember, that's life. That's what all the people say. You're riding high in April, shot down in May. But you know I'm gonna change that tune. When I'm back on top in June. I said that's life. And as funny as it may seem, some people get their kicks stomping on my team, but I don't let it get me down. 'Cause this fine old world, it keeps spinning around. I hope you enjoy the rest of the game, and if it remains the same, remember, that's life. You want your fill? Go check another Hollis build on YouTube. Last Raps Baseball. Let's get back to the game. Let's go! You know that's life. You know it. One love and peace.
Welcome back, everybody. We appreciate you, Matt, for your support of our channel, and in return, we like to support you. We have the out-of-town scoreboard to wrap this up. There were 2 postponements across the NPB tonight. That meant there were only 3 games out of town that we're playing. The Oryx Buffaloes knocked off the Hokkaido nippon-ham Fighters in the Pacific League 4-2. Jesse Biddle picks up his first NPB win in relief. Miyanishi takes the loss for the Fighters. Hirano gets the save for the Buffaloes. There were 2 home runs in the game. Imagawa homered for the Fighters, and for the Buffaloes, it was Sano. Over in the Central League, the Hanshin Tigers took one on the chin against the Amuri Giants. Final score was 9-5. Akahoshi got the win. Joe Gunkel takes the loss. Multiple home runs in this game. For the Tigers, it was Itoi, Kanami, and Umeno. For the Giants, it was Okamoto and Nakata. Again, the final was 9-5 for Yamuri over Hanshin. The other game was a pitcher's duel. It was the Chinichi Dragons winning 1-0 over the Hiroshima Carp. Yanagi got the win for the Chinichi Dragons. Endo takes the loss for the Carp. Final score there was 1-0. The Bay Stars and Swallows were rained out at the Jinju. And the game between Fukuoka and the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles was postponed due to the outbreak of COVID-19 with the Golden Eagles Ball Club. All right, everybody, appreciate it again. Once again, we're pleased to say we thank you for being here. Again, it'll be Monday at 10 o'clock Pacific time. We'll be back on the air. That is at 1400 Japan time. That would be on there Tuesday for the call of the game between the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles and the Saitama Seibu Lions. So hopefully everybody can be back then. We appreciate you again for tuning in. Have a great night, everybody. We'll see you again next week. Have a great night, everybody.